Rob is trying to figure it out. Up, out of the...
All right, there's Brett the Brick ready for the Prime Time event to start. Look at him.
Well, wait a minute. We got some trouble going on here.
What's going on?
Looks like henchman Rob is trying to figure it out. Up, out of the cage.
Yeah, get that down so we can figure out what's going on with it. Maybe they can... Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Rob, catch that.
Brett
on the loose.
That is not safe, Rob. Get it.
He's squirrely.
Oh, he is.
He's
dodging
on the
and weaving.
prowl.
Brett has no active weapons, but it's still not something you want just running around the venue.
No, that is a loose cannon if I've ever seen one.
Look out, going through the Bob Museum, in through the merch store. Is he trying to buy a t-shirt?
It's hungry for shins, Kyle.
There's so many toes. Look out! Oh my gosh, it's coming back around. It's over by the outside boxes.
An ankle biter if I've ever seen one.
It's coming back into the bleachers.
Oh my God, and there's Brett, and we are NHRL, and welcome.
Hello and welcome to the March 2024 edition of NHRL. My name is Kyle Crows. With me is Sam Hansen and Ricky Willems. We will be your host today for this ridiculous adventure. And let's check out some highlights from the show today.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
You can see some of the sights and sounds of the day. We've had some big victories. We've had some incredible destruction, all of it building up to this, the bracket portion of the night, our primetime show where you get to see the best of the best battle it out for 3 sought-after golden dumpsters.
Check it out up in the pits. We have emptied out quite a bit of the day as we are down to the final 8 in each weight class. The people that are left are working hard to make sure that these quarterfinal rounds are the best show they could possibly put on. That's really where the competition's taking place today. So this is where we're at. We've had robot fighting all day, and we are now to the quarterfinal rounds. This is the best of the best in each weight class. The winner of each weight class will not only get a golden dumpster, but a surefire ticket to the World Championships at the end of this year.
And let's not forget a nice pile of cash prize money.
Amen to that. All right, so we are going to be talking about Havoc 101. We've got 3 weight classes, 3, 12, and 30 pounds. This is a single elimination tournament. If you lose, you're out. You need to knock out your opponent within 3 minutes. If you don't knock him out or tap him out, the judges will decide the winner. We've got house pots that will unstick you 1 time per match, and anyone can participate. So let's talk about the 3-pound weight class. This has been an incredibly competitive division today, and quite frankly, in my opinion, the most open right now. I have no idea who's going to walk out of here with the dumpster.
No, it is incredible the diversity we've had. You can see some of the best fights and the best moments we have had throughout today. Again, this is anybody's game. So many good competitors, so many good robots.
Some dominant and stable vertical spinners, some classic horizontals, all the weapon types you'd want. Melty brains, fire,
Oh, it has been a wonderful day. In our bracket, we are going to have Hurt Caboose going up against Jelly Baby, IMPAKT facing Eruption, Chainsaw Kitty facing down Beetlejuice, and Stag Beetlebot trying to take down Red Panda for a shot at the Final Four.
Let's go upstairs to our friend Luke.
Now, there are just 8 Beetle weights left here in the bracket, and any single one of these Beetles could be the one to take home the Golden Dumpster. I'm going to be back here with an interview with the top-ranked Beetle here shortly, the builder of Chainsaw Kitty. Back to you, Kyle.
Thank you, Luke. Always good to hear from you. Let's talk about the 12-pound division. The 12-pound division has been absolutely stacked today. There is nothing but stone-cold killers left. Let's look at some of those highlights right now.
Yeah.
I mean, these hits have been crazy all day.
Yeah, this has really become our most destructive class. So many pieces flying. You can see that robot was nearly cut in 2, huge chunks being removed from the 12-pound Project Liftoff. Amazing day for flamethrowers as well. Some newcomers, too, coming with incredible force.
All right, so let's check out this bracket. We've got Pramheda versus Grim Ripper 12. Minun and Plusle taking on the newcomers Steggy. BumbleBlitz versus Weather Report. Blackjack versus Caldera 12. On a tear today. Let's go to Chris, cage side.
That's right. Hey guys, I'm here outside of Cage 1. I'm going to be ringside for the rest of the night during prime time to bring you guys into the action. We have 30-pounders loading in right now, Emulsifier and Smack-a-Lantern. We're gonna have an incredible night, and I'm gonna bring you right in. And let's get this thing started. I'm ready. Back to you.
Thank you, Chris. Yes, let's talk about that 30-pound division. This has been dominated by one robot all day, but there are some people that could possibly take the crown.
Certainly.
Yeah. Let's look at some highlights.
All right,
Look
here
at the
it
shots.
is Emulsifier, the vertical spinner, 2-time world champion here at NHRL, and they are on a tear today.
Absolutely the robot to beat. However, we've had a lot of stiff competition. You can see TCC being taken out, our first telepresence robot here at NHRL. Smack-a-Lantern going up against them. And speaking of Smack-a-Lantern, we're going to have Smack-a-Lantern facing down against Emulsifier. We've got Ares going against the Chinese entry Plasma Gun, Brandon Bennett-Young's Vorion taking on Catalyst 30, and Mr. Roper taking on Beast in the 30-pound bracket.
All right, let's go upstairs to Lindsay. Lindsay, how you doing up there?
Kyle, hello. It is so nice to be here for this insane event. I am here in the YouTube live chat. This is where the party is, so if you're watching at home, come join us. We're running polls, lots of discussions. It's the place to be, so I hope to see you there.
Thank you, Lindsay. All right. So we are going to get right into it with some 30-pound action. Loading in, we have Emulsifier versus Smack-a-Lantern. It is going to be a destructive match, to say the least.
I'm excited, Kyle.
Emulsifier, reigning, defending world champion 2 times over in this weight class. They typically show up to one event a year before the finals, and it's usually this one, and they usually walk out with a Golden Dumpster.
Yeah, they've made it a priority that be all they need to qualify for the finals, so we'll see if they pull that trick off again today. Smack-a-Lantern, on the other hand, relative newcomer, definitely trying to prove itself, but boy, does it have a steep hill to climb.
Absolutely, yeah, one of the bots that showed up at our new bots event this year looks great. I'm a big fan of this robot, and I know that there was a steep learning curve for the builder at the new bots event. Really dialed a lot in by this one.
Well, I believe it has a completely new weapon on it. It's moved from a drill sort of weapon to a beater bar type deal. We're going to have to see. So far, that's worked out pretty well for him. It's an easier weapon type to drive by a wide margin. It's going to be tough going up against Emulsifier.
Fight, robots, fight.
We're off. First fight of prime
Oh, that
time,
was a
and
massive,
those are
massive
some big
hit.
hits. Oh, wow. All right, every weapon impact so far has gone the way of Emulsifier.
Well, there will be no more weapon-to-weapon impacts because the weapon on Smack-a-Lantern is entirely gone.
And now frame rails are on their way out, too. I see a wheel just spinning around.
It's a Beyblade in the arena at this point.
Let it rip.
Emulsifier briefly inverted there, but able to recover quickly. However, it's not moving on its left side. Oh, it's back. It's back.
There
No
we go.
issues at all. Looks like they're just saving the weapon, trying to see what part of Smack-O-Lantern they need to hit to get the knockout, or maybe they're just going to wait for the count out. We'll see.
This could be a kill shot, Kyle. I think it's going to be.
Ouch.
Smack-O-Lantern is getting carved.
I don't know about Emulsifier, though. What's going on?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the second moment it has stopped moving. I think it was just high-centered.
I
Yeah,
believe.
that mini-bot did, or the multi-bot configuration came in and knocked him off a piece of debris there. That was very helpful. And there they come into the side rail on Smack-O-Lantern.
Smack-O-Lantern barely moving, but it is able to avoid a count-out at this point.
Emulsifier not getting that great bite that they're hoping for. Just grinding away at Smack-O-Lantern. Although I suppose at this point they don't really need the bite.
No, I think grinding is the kind thing to do in this case.
Honestly, yeah, you get to show your aggression, show you're still doing damage, but not completely wreck your opponent's work. Oh, wow, and we spoke too soon. Now he's just smacking it around the arena.
That's the point where everybody's happy here. Smack-O-Lantern is stuck. It will get its unstick from the house bot if possible. But it won't get attacked as much. It won't get completely eviscerated. Assuming Emulsifier has mercy, which it might not. Oh my gosh.
That
Emulsifier.
was terrifying. Smack-O-Lantern launched into the air, landing back down on top of that frame rail. Wheels are completely off the ground, and the unstick continues.
I think Emulsifier would be happy to provide that unstick.
Kyle, I don't even see the wheels moving at Smack-O-Lantern at this point. Oh, there it is. I spoke too soon.
it needed a little, what did you call that, percussive maintenance?
I think it just needed someone to prove wrong. I'm taking full credit for that wheel starting to move again. It's not going to help them. It appears this match is going to a count out just before the end of the match, but we'll see.
And we can see the multi-bot configuration doing a little dance, celebratory dance.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Not saved by the bell. That did, in fact, go to a knockout just before the clock ran out.
Giving our judges a little bit of a break on that first matchup. Not bad, not bad.
Give them an easy intro.
So, second event, getting taken out by the current reigning and defending world champion. Not so bad.
Not so bad. Getting deeper every time. It's looking good.
I was going to
They've
say,
got
it
the
looks
style.
good doing it.
Yeah, and I just have such an appeal for Coulson wheels with weight holes drilled in them. There's just something about it. Oh, there's that big initial hit from Emulsifier, which just sent Smack-O-Lantern skyward.
Smack-O-Lantern brought to you by Paul Tortorici. He's from Peekskill, New York, and I gotta tell you, I like his bot. It's cool looking, you know?
Yeah, and for a beginner entry, it is fantastic.
Absolutely. All right, we are now in Cage 4. More 30-pound action coming your way. This is Ares versus Plasma Gun. Ares, MIT's first offering basically since the pandemic at any combat robotics event. And this thing has been on a tear today. Absolutely impressive showing. They're going up against Plasma Gun. This bot actually won third place at the Netherlands Robo Games back in 2018. It's
You said Netherlands?
Dutch, sorry, Dutch Robo Games.
Okay, yeah, well, still, they're an international squad fighting
yeah,
all over
absolutely.
the world. That's so cool.
Yeah, they actually do run some events in China. They can participate in a lot of different events in China.
Mm-hmm.
This is Ao and Elaine. We've met them before, but they've never been to this competition. We're very happy to have them here.
Yeah, Elaine has been a wonderful competitor at so many events and really bringing... When you come from a different group of builders like that, you bring so much different institutional knowledge, kind of metagame, so much really hard to describe benefits to a competition like this. Really, really glad to have her along.
a totally different perspective on it, on the sport.
Yeah, Elaine has a lot of theories on just team dynamics specifically. Who should have what responsibilities on the team, how that should flow, how that workflow should function.
That doesn't really come up that often in fighting robots, but it is such a crucial element. You have to work with these people to achieve what you're trying to do and to make sure that everyone fits in the role as they need.
And let me tell you, as a competitor, when you get to the 30-pound weight class, it's critical.
Yeah.
You can get by in the 3-pound weight class as a one-man, one-woman team, whatever it is. You get to the 12, you're probably pushing it. You get to 30s, you need support.
Yeah.
And so those team dynamics and your culture that you bring to that becomes a critical aspect to how well you're going to do in the cage. Here you can see we are coming down to the last moments before this fight begins.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fight, robots, fight.
We're off.
Oh, nasty hit there from Plasma Gun on Ares, and it looks like the belt just shredded off of Ares there. This is where experience comes into play, able to survive that first impact. And you can see Ares is on their head, no weapon spinning at all.
No, that is not a good place to be, especially going up against someone as dangerous as Plasma Gun.
And they sound like they're constantly accelerating. It's just getting faster and faster.
Yeah, they're charging up for a hit, it feels like.
It's like that elevator scene in Willy Wonka. It just goes up and up and up. Eventually, something's got to give.
Ryan Duarte, he's the captain of Ares. First MIT squad to come to this event in a very long time. And
There we go.
And you can see there is some spin on that Ares weapon, but that's just transfer kinetic energy from Plasma Gun's weapon.
There it is again. Yes, without that belt, they're not spinning it via motor. But it's a good way to... Oh, wow, that's a belt off on Plasma Gun.
Yeah, that is a huge change to the dynamics of this match.
And what is dangling?
That is the weapon motor on Plasma Gun. That's why that belt came out, because the entire weapon motor was separated from the robot.
It's now a pushing match.
It's dangling by wires. The robot is falling apart in front of us.
Entering yard sale mode on its own.
And we've got a pin from Ares now. That's why you never give up in these fights. You never know what's going to happen.
Rapid, unscheduled disassembly. Kyle, I want to point out here, too, and Sam, for that matter, those wires are still live. If they get cut, if those get pinched, we could have a major robot fire in the arena.
Yeah, I also like how they're using the weapon motor now as a flail style weapon.
Yeah, run what you brung, Kyle.
Adapt and overcome.
When life gives you lemons, you make a motor flail.
So you can see they still have some spin on that one wheel. They're not getting counted out anytime soon. Last 19 seconds left in this matchup. Ares still fully functional drive system. And they've got another pin up against the house bot.
Yes, this is a great showing by Ares, really taking advantage of this to the fullest extent.
Absolutely amazing showing from the MIT team, Ryan Duarte and Ares. That robot looked dead the first minute of this matchup. The weapon went down, the belt went flying. They were getting dominated, but it all turned around with some clever driving and some resilience.
That's going to be a tough one to judge, I think.
I feel like that was a relatively clear-cut win for Ares. Certainly the first half of the match, it was overwhelmingly in the hands of Plasma Gun.
Look, that was the hit right there, where the weapon shredded its own belt, fell apart.
So do you think that Plasma Gun could have taken better advantage of the belt being down before they started falling apart?
I think so. I wouldn't doubt if this is a situation where they pulled back a little too much. There was a little overconfidence in being kind, and that's just the way it
All
went.
right, let's go check in with Luke upstairs. Luke, what you got for us?
I'm standing here pit side with one of the most anticipated builders here, still alive in the Beetles, Keziah Sky with Chainsaw Kitty. Now, Keziah, you are the top-ranked Beetle that's still alive here in the bracket, and there are a lot of fans here that are wondering if this is the month that you are going to go all the way and hoist a Golden Dumpster. Now, you are going to be facing Beetlejuice in your round of 8 match. This is a match that you have fought in the past. Now, tell me about the last 2 times you fought Beetlejuice.
So I fought Beetlejuice in my first 2 competitions. Kitty wasn't quite dialed in yet. She had some issues that sort of lost me the fight. Not to put down Beetlejuice, they're a very fierce opponent, but I had some issues outside of the match that really hindered my performance. And today I'm also having some issues, so hopefully they don't bite me.
Now, I'm really interested in the configuration that you're deciding to run. Can you talk us through how you're preparing for this match?
Yep, so same for basically any horizontal. Run some titanium wedges, helps deflect their shots, directs them upwards, feeds them into the weapon a bit more. You just really want to stay on top of a horizontal as much as you can, limit the amount of energy they build up.
Now, can you talk about your run so far today? You were saying that you were having some issues. It does look like the robot is running into a couple of gremlins. Can you talk through those?
Yeah, so I've been fighting back and forth with, it basically keeps disconnecting from my transmitter and I can no longer control it. Sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's not. I can't figure out the issue. I've been stressing about it all day. So I'm pretty much just hoping she stays on because otherwise she's performing great. She just has to stay on.
This is going to be a fantastic fight in the round of 8. Best of luck for the rest of the evening.
And thank you very much.
Back to you on the desk.
All right, that bot has been struggling today, but also winning fights.
It's funny how that works. Sometimes the days when you have the most struggle are also the ones where you're rewarded with the most luck.
And that, I'd say luck has a lot to do with it. Also, just some resilience and also some quick work by her team, getting that bot back up and running, restarting those transmitters, and doing everything that you possibly can, aside from crawling back into the box and restarting the robot.
I mean, what's the phrase, Kyle? I think it's preparation is the better part of luck.
Yeah,
essentially. And they have set their team up and their robot in a way where even if things aren't going the way they want, they're still going to go pretty well.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so we are going to have some more 30-pound action coming your way. Next up, I do believe we're going to have Mr. Roper taking on the Beast. Mr. Roper is a delightful robot.
Seriously, and they've really stepped up since the last tournament. I saw 3 copies of Mr. Roper up in the pits.
That's when you know you've moved up another level, when you start showing up with not just spare parts, but full-on spare robots.
Right. And I got to say, Mr. Roper is the only robot here today that I really just wish was my neighbor.
Yeah,
just lived at the end of the cul-de-sac.
Yeah, he'd be happy to come help you fix something.
Well, I mean, he's going to be on his lawn grumpy with like a garden hoe. Those darn groundhogs are at it again.
Keeping all the teenagers in the neighborhood in check.
Right.
What'd you call Mr. Roper's arm? What are those weapons? What is
Angry.
It? They're just anger. Pure anger. Pure anger as a weapon.
I want to call them flails, but flails have another technical meaning here.
Yeah, these are partially disassembled pipe wrenches.
That's another good set of words.
And they swing angrily and with much personality.
Yeah.
I like it. I mean, I don't know. It dents the floor a lot.
Yeah.
But what doesn't here?
Inertial combat implements. The way it dances around the arena, folks, it's a show when this thing, when things get hopping around here at NHRL.
And it's convenient. Mr. Roper's a toolbox-based robot, and so when it comes time to repairs, you just open it up. Yeah,
all right,
there you go.
We're going to go upstairs right now and check in with Lindsay. Lindsay, how's it going up there?
Kyle, so I just started a poll in the YouTube live chat, and I really want to know, who do you think is going to win this upcoming fight, Mr. Roper or the Beast? It's a tough call. I'm going to leave it in the hands of all the audience members watching out there, and there's already a clear winner, so if you feel confident in your vote, go cast it. Or even if you don't, take a guess. Kyle, if you had to guess, who would you put your money on?
Mr. Roper doesn't die, so I'm going to go ahead and give that one to the Mr. Roper in that particular matchup. And the weapon does count as movement, too. So even if you take out the drive, it's still moving around.
Yeah, it's wonderful how that robot can continue to bounce around the arena with essentially no wheels.
Yeah.
It's still controlled movement.
All right, we have a judge's decision in.
See?
And your winner, Aries. Can't say I'm too surprised about that one.
No, unanimous decision and relatively close margins.
Yeah.
Only 1 point of dissent amongst 3 judges. It's about as even of a score as you can get.
Absolutely. So the MIT team will be moving on. But we've been so happy to have that team from China here and Plasma Gun. So before we see the ridiculousness, let's watch the heavy hitters. This is Vorion versus Catalyst. This is the death part of the bracket, right? These are two bots that could very easily walk out of here with a Golden Dumpster today, pitted against each other just because of how they finished.
Brandon Bennett Young and Vorion, they're coming off of an All-Stars championship back in December.
Yep.
You can see him rocking the All-Stars logo on his brand new jersey, looking good.
Yeah, fantastic. I am always interested to see how Brandon is going to handle something like this. He's such a technical driver. He is going in here with a strategy, without a doubt. We just won't know what that strategy is until, you know, at least a few seconds of this match go by.
Fight, robots, fight.
And there's Catalyst by Corey Nason. Just a hard-hitting robot. But it's relatively new. Vorion is not. Vorion is fairly dialed in at this point.
We are nearly 50 feet away and 2 layers of bulletproof glass away from Catalyst, and I can feel the table vibrating
everything
with that
in this
spinning
building
weapon.
is.
It looks like Vorion is able to just push Catalyst around, but no real weapon engagement happening yet.
Nah, a small bit of grinding, but other than that, nothing. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, make no mistake, Vorion has a nasty weapon, but it is a control robot at heart.
Calling for that unstick.
Called it. He yelled it. Please don't hit me. I'm calling for an unstick.
Can Flo pull it off?
I don't know. That is a very tough position, and it looks like they just made it worse.
If he can get a tire on the ground, he might be able to squirt out of that corner.
As you can see, Vorion still just showing that it's working, lining itself up for a shot, waiting for the right moment to come in.
All right. He's off the kick plate now. And
I think this is going to be a completed unstick, but it's going to take a little bit of finesse.
And a lot of time out of this match, quite frankly.
Yeah, and remember, every moment that Catalyst is stuck in this arena,
Tap out.
There we go, the larger knife kitty trying to get its multi-bot, main part of the multi-bot down, unable to do so.
look at the incredible stoicism
I was just going to say.
on
so
Brendan's face.
plain-faced.
I know, right? Brendan's like, that's how I planned it.
He's used to W's now.
Just how I planned it.
That man looks like he's doing his taxes. He's got that level of nonplussed demeanor on his face.
He was playing video games upstairs earlier in the day.
saw that.
Just
Yeah.
chilling, playing like a fighting game on his computer.
Dragon Ball Fighters, I think.
Yeah, you know, when you're that prepared, when you're that ready to go, you can do a little bit of psychological warfare like that. Oh, you're stressed and working on your bot? That must be hard.
Oh, yeah. I'm just trying to figure out how Goku can beat Vegeta.
He didn't bring 3 or 4 robots this time. He just brought Vorion. He's used to running multiple bots, and that's a lot more work than just the one. So,
Yeah. And he did bring 2 Vorions.
Yeah.
He is prepped, ready to go. So even if this robot were to get split in half and still somehow win, he wouldn't have to go rush to fix it. He wouldn't have to go nuts.
let's go ahead and check with Chris, cage side.
Here with Corey Nason, Catalyst 30, really tough. You know, it's one of those things you do the thing in the wrong place, the wrong time. Tell me about the day and tell me about this predicament that you found yourself in.
For first time showing of this bot, I was actually pretty happy with it. Performance overall, there are some small changes that I have to make with it, but it'll be back and it'll be better than ever.
We saw Catalyst 30 absolutely obliterate some of its opponents today. Tell us about some of the design implementations that you put into it, so that because it did perform so well all day.
The big thing was the large diameter disc, and then also the actual almost like hook on it. It's meant to grab and rip things apart. Just the drive was struggling, so it made it so I wasn't really able to engage with the opponents as good as I wanted to.
Now we'll see Catalyst 30 again this year here at NHRL, right?
Yes, absolutely. It'll be back.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to it. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you so much, Chris. All right, now we are heading over into Cage 4, where we get that matchup, Mr. Roper versus Beast. Winner of this matchup will go on to face Vorion in the next round.
Now here's the real question. These quick squares on the front of Mr. Roper, is that a mustache?
You know, I think it is a mustache, yes.
I think it's a mustache. So I'd like to go to the judges to figure out, you know, an official distinction as to whether it's a mustache, but it sure looks like one to me.
Mr. Roper's copping my style.
I was thinking it was more like Sam Elliott. You know what I mean? Not Sam Hansen, but Sam Elliott style mustache. He's got the kind of like handlebar thing going on there.
Can Mr. Roper talk to me as if he's Sam Elliott? That's what I really want.
He does have Sam Elliott vibes, now that you mention it, yeah.
Beast sounds all spun up in this one. Mr. Roper taking the rear to Beast, keeping that mustache safe.
And you can see the framing squares on Mr. Roper on the back and on the front. This is what keeps the bot from tipping.
Oh, that is a big hit.
Oh no, now he is
Roper.
upside down, Mr. Roper.
He's very angry about being upside down.
He doesn't like it. He doesn't like it at all, but he can still move.
He's walking.
He's walking. That does count.
He hates it. He hates being upside down.
He is so angry about this, but folks, if he can get to the wall and hit the edge of the arena with those angry arms, he'll self-right himself.
Fascinating. I can't wait to see that if it happens. The Beast trying their best to not let it happen.
Yeah, if I was the Beast right now, I'd be attacking the other side, pushing him farther away from the walls. But, you know, maybe
it's a feat to behold. Maybe the Beast is interested.
Maybe. Oh, and that strategy is not quite working. Oh, he's self-righted.
He got it.
He did it. He did it.
It's a miracle.
Maybe Tyler Wright with the Beast just wanted to give the people what they want. You know, we all wanted to see it happen.
Look at him go. Look at him go.
He's even bouncier. What is going on?
Oh, that battery has smoked.
Is that what that is? Smoking
that is
battery?
absolutely a battery fire inside of
pouring out.
I take it back. Mr. Roper's just angry. That is hot under the collar. No, you can see bits of battery start to work its way out of that toolbox.
It's shredding itself inside of Mr. Roper.
And the flames have begun.
Goodness.
Oh no! Celebratory.
This fight isn't over.
No, not at all.
We still have a minute left.
Oh yeah, Mr. Roper's fine when it's on fire. There's no issues at all. It's operating, it's spinning, it's driving.
Our arenas are set up to be safe for this exact kind of situation. When you have an angry toolbox catch fire, you need to be able to contain it.
He's still driving. He's still operating it.
I am wondering, is Mr. Yeah, no, he is. That is controlled movement. Oh, look at that. That's a pin from the smaller half of the multi-bot.
Driven by Tom Farkas, helping out on the team today. Another pin. All right, this counts. These are points that Mr. Roper is currently scoring. We got 10 seconds left in the matchup. Both bots are still in it, and Mr. Roper is still moving, and the fire is out.
Is he moving better now?
It kind of is, actually. We are down to the end of this matchup. This actually goes to the judges. Could it be? Is it possible third-ranked Mr. Roper wins this judge's decision?
The fact that it's not impossible.
It's It's not impossible. It is not actually impossible.
The fact that it's not impossible is ridiculous.
We can do some simple math, though. Mr. Roper lost both weapons
Yes,
and half his drive,
that's
Yes.
true.
and
Yeah.
the Beast lost a weapon.
I think it's
Ish.
weapon. Yeah.
Yeah, the judges may or may not ask for some clarification if that weapon is still operating on Beast. We're not going to see that right this moment. We're going to see a very happy competitor and a very on-fire robot.
But keep in mind, Mr. Roper picked up some control points after it lost the weapons and half the drive.
And while I don't think it counts for aggression points, I can't say that Mr. Roper wasn't incredibly aggressive.
Scary guy. All right, so we're going to go upstairs and check in with Luke. Luke, what do you got for us?
Now, we talked to the builder of Chainsaw Kitty, and now we're talking to the builder on the other half of this match, Ariel Smith and Beetlejuice. Now, Ariel, you've beaten Chainsaw Kitty the last 2 times that you faced her. How are you going to make it 3 in a row?
That's a great question. I'm not entirely sure. We haven't ran our mini-bot all day with Beetlejuice, and I think we're going to have to run the mini-bot for this fight.
Now, talk to me a little bit about the reliability of the robot today. It looks like it's been running really, really well.
It's been running really well in its most recent fights. At the beginning of the day in its first fight, we tried a new transmitter and a new receiver. It was really buggy. I did some of this last year too. I went back to the configuration that I qualified with. So it's reliable now.
Now, speaking of the configuration that you qualified with, it was 1 year ago this month, in March 2023, that you earned your qualification with a 3rd place win. Now, again in March, you are standing on the precipice of qualification again. Is March just the lucky month for you?
I hope so. That would be really great if I qualified. There's no guarantee, though, now with the new rules. So if I make top 4, it's not a guaranteed qualification. But it would be awesome to make top 4 or top 2 or first.
Amazing. Now, all of the 8 Beetles in the bracket left today, these will, whoever wins, it's going to be a first-time winner for a Golden Dumpster, which is very, very cool. And best of luck for the rest of the evening. Best of luck in your next match.
Great. Thank you.
Back to you on the desk.
Thank you, Luke. Gotta say, I love that shirt. Going with the Beetlejuice theme.
Yeah, the bot looks amazing today, too. I love all the outlining on it, the new paint job. I mean, really, that team does a phenomenal job theming that robot.
All right, let's hop back upstairs and check with Lindsay on that poll result.
Sam, I mean, I don't know. Maybe you would guess this, maybe you wouldn't. I ran a poll on who the audience think won the Beast versus Mr. Roper fight, and it is right now a dead split.
Oh my goodness.
50% for both of them. So I don't know. If I was a judge, I think I'd have a hard time with that. The audience clearly, oh, now it's 52% Mr. Roper, so slightly in his favor.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Mr. Roper might have taken that against.
Wow.
I don't know.
It's nice to vote with your heart sometimes, Lindsay.
I think that's a good way to put it. Regardless of what happens with the judges, Mr. Roper won in our hearts.
Clearly the hearts and minds of the audience, because now it's 53%. So.
A man on the rise.
Man on the rise.
That bot's going places.
Angrily,
yeah,
but
very.
Going.
He's unhappy about going places. He just wants to go back home.
He just wants to bed rot, you know? A little Netflix and chill, but no, here he is. Very unhappy.
Oh, all right, Lindsay, thank you so much. We're going to ignore that extremely creepy cat that you have in front of you and go check in with Chris. Chris, how you doing, buddy?
Hey guys, I'm here with Tyler Wright, who is all the way from Arizona, ASU. You guys came here stacked to the gills, 6 bots, a dozen builders. This is your first splash here in the Northeast. Tell us about your day.
Yes, I had a blast. I just really appreciate being here and sharing such a cool hobby with a bunch of like-minded people.
Now, you made Mr. Roper very upset. I've never seen him so heated before. Tell us, how is Beast performing? Like, are you optimistic about the rest of the bracket coming up?
Surprisingly, yeah. We didn't expect to get this far, really, but we're kind of excited how it's going.
Any shout-outs to anyone from the school or the program that helped get you guys here today?
I would just like to thank Caleb and Matt for starting this club that we have now. I really appreciate you guys and sharing such a cool hobby with everyone. So, yeah.
All right. Well, it sounds like the results are in. it looks like Beast, congratulations, you are going further into the bracket.
Hell yeah, sounds good.
Do you think you got anything to dial in up there?
I think we just have to charge batteries, make sure that the weapon system is all good to go, and yeah, good for another one.
All right, well, good luck.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Back to you.
Well done to Tyler and Beast. The robot performed beautifully, and yeah, I'd say that was a fair result.
Yeah, and I got to say, it has earned that name. I took a look under the hood of that robot upstairs earlier in the day. That is packing a lot of power. It's not exactly, doesn't look like a sleek machine on the outside. It's clearly a new build, but boy, they really like every ounce of energy that they could get out of those batteries, those motors. It is a powerhouse of machine for sure.
Well, congratulations to them. They will be moving on to face Vorion in the next round. So I don't know if that's a congratulations or not. Good luck with that one.
It's going to be a tough one for sure. Brandon did not take much damage in that last fight either with Vorion, so both robots should be in top form for this fight.
Yeah, however, Brandon is a veteran competitor here, not just in combat robots in general, but with NHRL specifically.
Yeah.
That is clearly going to be the heavy favorite to win in that match. We're going to see, this is a great chance for that team to prove themselves against a veteran competitor like Brandon. We'll see if they can snag that. But on the flip side, no one is coming out of that fight unhappy if Beast does not win, right? I mean, there's no shame in losing to Brandon.
Not at all.
Interestingly, on the other side of the bracket, we have a very similar story. We're going to have Ares versus Emulsifier. That's another college team taking on a seasoned veteran here at this event. I'm very interested to see how that one turns out as well.
I think that is a microcosm of this entire March event so far. We have so many veterans here, so many polished designs, and at the same time, a really balanced group of people that are new, yet really bringing it. I mean, robots that have earned throughout the course of today the chance to go up against these veterans. And I think that is kind of the magic of an event like this, where you can have the best of the best give a shot to the newbies to see if they can earn a place to, win the championship or at least get to the championship at the end of the year.
Yeah, and that grows the whole sport. When you can learn from your opponents, your competitors, you get better. The next person you fight that may be way newer than you, they learn from you, so everyone's coming up from this.
And don't forget, it's fun. I mean, Brandon going up against a robot that nobody has heard of before today, that's a lot more novel than fighting, your arch nemesis for the 12th time.
Right.
Which we're lucky enough not to have happen here very often.
Now, before we do get into the 12-pound division of our competition today, let's check out this updated bracket in the 30-pound division. You can see up at the top there, Emulsifier versus Ares. This is going to be a fascinating matchup. We have seen the belt come off of Ares today, but other than that, that bot's been bulletproof all day. Beast, we've seen issues. We've seen small things go wrong throughout the day, but they've continued to win fights. I gotta say though, I haven't seen Vorion or Emulsifier make a single mistake, have a single error, have a single mechanical issue the entire day.
No, they are dialed in today. They're dialed in general, especially today. What's going to be really interesting here is we've got two robots with an optimized ground game. The forks on Vorion, the forks on Emulsifier, if they choose to run forks, excellent. Really an uphill battle for robots that have not optimized for that. That said, we are going to cage one. Pramheda is going up against Grim Ripper. This is another fantastic match of heavy hitters. Let's see how it goes.
4, 3, 2.
Zach Knight has been a man possessed today. He wants this golden dumpster. He wants to take this 12-pound division, and he is wanting to show everybody he is still the top of the food chain amongst 12-pound robots here. And ripping the armor off the side of Grim Ripper. Grim Ripper has that horseshoe-style armor just completely ripped to pieces on that left-hand side of the bot.
Yeah, it is struggling to move. Both wheels are up. Oh my gosh!
Wow, weapon still fully functional on Grim Ripper, but they're not able to deliver it in any way. That wheel is askew on the right-hand side a little bit there, too.
Still spinning, but not able to aim that weapon for Grim Ripper, and that last hit from Pramheda left them on their head.
Yeah, Grim Ripper is getting ripped to pieces bit by bit.
He says, give me the unstick.
We'll see if Pramheda beats the house robot to that unstick.
He is giving them the room to get in there and unstick. He's coming around to get a better view of what's going on that side. You can see Zach is not messing around today, but nothing seems to be moving on Grim Ripper at all. I don't know if they're trying to save the motors or if they legit cannot move. Ow.
That is a crunchy unstick.
It can drive inverted if they're able to get them down. Oh no, what are you doing, Housebot?
Pramheda really struggling to move after that hit. I think it was reset.
Wow. Flo's a big girl.
We are coming down on a final countdown for a knockout on Grim Ripper. We do not have long left.
Is he unsticking them himself? No, he's going in for another hit. Oh my goodness, the weapon back up to speed on Grim Ripper.
And Grim Ripper's drive, at least on one side, still functioning.
But now they're stuck in the corner, not able to reverse themselves out or maneuver out in any way.
Zach and Pramheda, I believe, thinks it's just about over. He drove right back to the opening door.
Yeah, not messing around, not wasting time today. Zach is a man on a mission.
Knockout.
How about Flo, though? Whew.
Yeah, she was a little grumpy that event. I don't know what was going on there. Pramheda, one of the top robots early on in this 12-pound bracket back when we first started it. I mean, this has been an apex predator in this division, really fallen off in the last couple of years as far as placements and its record. All that seems to be ending today.
Yeah, he's back. He wants it. I believe he had a pretty good showing at the Pennsylvania competition in February.
Sure did. Yeah, real close to this competition, too. Not a lot of turnaround on that at all. Man, Grim Ripper looks terrible.
It did. It got torn up. It is very terrible.
So Pramheda will now face the winner between Minun and Plusle and Steggy. You can see they have to actually drag this poor guy all the way across the arena with the safety crowbar.
Incredibly safe crowbar. Do you know how hard it is?
All right, we're going to check in with Chris, cage side. How you doing, Chris? All right, we're going to head back to Chris in just a moment. We can see the last bit of underside of Grim Ripper there.
Yeah, big pieces of that surrounding shell missing. I didn't get a chance to check in. It looks to be a ferrous material. It's probably a hardened steel.
Wow.
And that is saying a lot to have that sort of robot torn up that heavily. That has shrugged off heavy hitter after heavy hitter today. So for it to get torn apart like that is impressive. Yeah. We are going to try Chris one more time. Chris, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm here with Zach Knight and Pramheda. Zach, some collateral damage from Flo. Tell us what on earth happened in there.
Ultimately, like I was moving forward to unstick him because I didn't see that he asked, and so I backed away, and then he called his unstick. So I thought his unstick was over, so I was moving in to try to help him, but Flo missed. It happens.
I saw that. That's awesome. You know, even after the multiple attempts for the unstick, you moved in, you gave them the one pop, but they were stuck in the corner. That's excellent sportsmanship. I love seeing that kind of stuff.
Thank you. I got to fight him in January with a robot called Skyrippa, and he beat me, and I wanted to beat him straight up. I didn't want to beat him with him getting counted out because of being stuck on the wall.
Now, Pramheda's been doing such a great job today on a tear. What are your thoughts going into the rest of the bracket?
Every fight from here on out and pretty much the whole day is going to be damaging and crazy. There is not a robot in here that can. Well, correct words. There is not a robot here that is not capable of beating me. Like, they all can beat me in very dominant fashions.
The field here in March is stacked, especially now that we're here in the bracket. Good luck. I hope there's nothing crazy going on inside after getting body slammed by Flo, but we'll see what happens.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, good luck. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Chris. Appreciate that. Fantastic fight. A lot of destruction. What are you guys' thoughts?
It was nice to hear that there were good intentions behind him coming in to unstick Grim Ripper there. It was cool to hear that backstory about the last time that they faced each other as competitors. It just shows how much respect these people really have for each other, the work that they all put in the pits, the amount of help they give each other in the online communities. It really does translate to a great deal of sportsmanship once the actual bell rings here.
Yeah. And speaking of the pits, Kyle, let's go ahead upstairs and check on with Luke. How you doing, Luke?
Hey everybody, I'm here with Team League LBT Robotics and Elaine Wu and Ao Jiang. Now, Elaine was the captain of Railgun Max here pre-COVID 4 years ago, and this is Elaine's first trip back to the United States since the pandemic. Elaine, I would love to hear how your trip has gone so far. You know, how has it been so far this week?
It's amazing. Like, we haven't competed internationally for 4.5 years already. The last time we've been competing was like still Battle Balls out in 2019. And this time we didn't play really well this time, but we tried after so many years that we still trying to get back our skills and get back with the atmosphere, with the people, with the friends. And it was really stressful, but we are really happy.
Now, you told me a really funny story about your last match here with Plasma Gun. You ran out of belts, you ran out of spares, so how did you run your weapon in that last fight?
Yeah, okay, this is actually like a long story. This is Plasma Gun, and it's already 6 years old. So we built this one at 2018, I think. Yeah, we went to Belgium for the competition, and afterwards we didn't move it at all. And this time we bring this old man back for NHRL to want to see if these 30 pounds can still be working. But we don't have any spare parts. So when we ran out of belts, we have the tape here. The first version testing, the second testing version, and that's the final version. And it stayed until the end of the 3 minutes.
That is fantastic. What ingenuity, building your own belts using black tape. That is amazing.
Just like be innovative, think about anything that you can to make the competition go on, because I don't want to drop out. We don't want to give up since we travel so far away from to here, right? So we had like 3 hours running around thinking where we can buy the belts. Then AO was like, oh, why not try the tape? Then we did it. And yeah, voila.
That is fantastic. Now, in China, you are an event organizer yourself. You run dozens and dozens of events per year. Can you tell us a little bit more about the league that you run in Shanghai?
After Battle Ball, since we don't have any competition in China, so we started thinking, why don't we start being an organizer? Since we are the competitors, we are the builders, we know what the builders want. We think we know how to give people good experiences to compete in our event. So we start our game. And afterwards, we found in China, the market is actually growing. So there's more and more kids want to join this sports. We call it sports. So we started a fighting robot club, and then we had our own products made by 3D printing. And then we start doing the education parts, and now we are teaching in many private schools in China. And now we want to bring our students internationally. That's why I came first, to check on the whole marketing here, the connections here, and then maybe in the summer we're going to come with many little builders.
That is amazing. Elaine, you're one of the coolest builders in the sport. Thank you so much for coming out here today. I am so glad you're here.
Thank you. I hope to come soon. I hope I can come more often.
Back to you on the desk. Thanks.
Thank you, Luke. I got to say something that I just heard from that cracked me up. She said they didn't do very well today. They made it to the quarterfinals.
Yeah, they very well could be invited back just based on that at the end of the year for the championships.
Absolutely, and I love to hear that they're planning on hopefully coming back this summer. That is awesome, and bringing more people from their league. That's great. Truly an international affair. Now check it out. Here we are in Cage 1. There's Minun and Plusle.
The first multi-bot of Prime Time. Proper split weight multi-bot.
They're going up against John Flack and Steggy. John Flack here with his school, University of Florida.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1,
Fight, robots.
Now,
fight.
Steggy is a modular bot. They're able to switch out the weapon for different types depending on the opponent.
Whichever one they chose just then was pretty effective against the blue Minun and Plusle.
Looks like they are running the undercutter for this one.
Steggy giving me strong Ribot vibes. I don't know if that's because it's green and an undercutter or if there's more at play here.
Beautiful shot onto the side of Minun there.
How do you tell the difference, Kyle?
Minun's blue.
Okay. It's so simple.
It's all it takes.
Plusle's red? That's how you tell the difference between, you know, Mario and Luigi.
Okay.
Oh, they're completely different entities.
Only in Mario
Looks like Minun and Plusle both on their heads. You don't know need to know the difference when they're both upside down.
Excellent self-righting using the weapon there.
Yeah, the gyroscopic self-righting is so impressive on these two robots, as is the driving that allows it.
Absolutely.
Now, being able to gyro yourself back upright as opposed to using your weapon to impact the floor or the wall, it's a lot more sustainable as far as a fight goes.
Honeycrack team really struggling. One of the bots still seems to be out. Half the weight, still functional though.
It's like Plusle is 100% on their weapon upside down.
Ooh, that was an intense hit
Yeah,
there.
it was.
Plusle is not doing a good job of maneuvering around Steggy. You can see it keeps losing weapon-to-weapon encounters. It needs a better angle to be able to succeed in this match.
Looks like Minun taking the opportunity to right Plusle.
Yeah, but there's not a lot of movement. That looks like a dead bot.
I thought I saw a wheel spinning while he was upside down, but
really wonderful job by John Flack and Steggy, keeping the pressure on.
John Flack is one of those builders that every older builder has been afraid of because it's such a meteoric rise in some cases, and just at least he's primed to do so. He keeps coming with inventive, well-developed things, and as soon as he really nails something, it's gonna be a terror. And this could be it. Steggy could be that robot at the trajectory it's on.
Last 10 seconds of this matchup. Not sure if he's saving the weapon or if it's actually out, but he has scored plenty of points throughout this matchup.
I would imagine, based on how slow he's driving, that he is at the end of that battery's life.
Oh, yeah, pushing it, really pushing it until the very end.
You don't see it as much anymore, but some of these robots really do try to save every ounce of weight, and they have to be very careful with the application of that power so as not to run out of batteries by the end of the match.
Here you see the Gator Robotics team there to support him. University of Florida. Not too long ago, John was just a builder in high school who ran his own heavyweight team.
In high school?
In high school.
I don't think I could lift a heavyweight as an adult, let alone a scrawny high schooler.
Now he's at the University of Florida with a full Gators team behind him.
All right, gonna hop on over to Cage 4, where we have BumbleBlitz in the pink corner and Weather Report in the blue.
Now BumbleBlitz coming off a second place win at a tournament in Pennsylvania, looking really good all day today, but I gotta tell ya, the Shuffler bot Weather Report dishing out damage all day long, putting on some phenomenal fights for us, and this Shuffler system works so flawlessly. This thing moves beautifully around the box.
So why would a robot have a shuffling system here at NHRL?
You get a weight bonus for shufflers here at NHRL. Not sure how much longer we're actually going to allow that because it's hard to tell what's a shuffler and what's not now. Some of these shufflers move so fast, but it's a very significant weight bonus that these bots get.
Well, that weight bonus is there to basically encourage creativity, new designs, so I'm sure it will stick around. It's just a question of how much it will be and what sort of mechanisms are eligible for that weight bonus.
Oh yeah, and it's there for the rest of this year, that's for sure. You can see the weapon on Weather Report fully up to speed, and they get a lot of gyroscopic precession out of that weapon as well. Really helps those shufflers work in a very unique way.
And you can see BumbleBlitz coming in here. They are struggling compared to some of their earlier matches, but still look pretty good overall. That was another robot. A huge and perfectly executed hit by BumbleBlitz.
That's a limp head on BumbleBlitz after that one. I think that weapon is affected.
Look at the top armor on Weather Report. It is bent up in the corner.
Oh yeah, you're right. It snapped off down at the bottom.
My goodness.
It is askew.
And that's a fully TPU weapon arm, I believe, on BumbleBlitz.
It is all UHMW.
Okay.
Oh, fascinating. That's
Still
all UHMW.
very hard to break in one go like that.
That weapon arm has been putting in heavy work all day. But you know what? It's still an effective hammer.
And he's not afraid to use it. That's awesome.
And you know what? Weather Report is not moving.
Well, it was up on the cam lifters.
Oh, I see. Well, still, it appears that one side of its drive is completely non-functional.
You gotta wonder if that hit warped the frame in any way, and it's having a hard time getting engagement.
This is the kind of situation BumbleBlitz needs to take full advantage of. Go in there and beat Weather Report to death. Even if your weapon arm is not working the way you want,
you're
score that aggression.
Score those points.
Score that control.
Interesting.
They are trying, it appears they're trying to get Weather Report unstuck. Maybe it's high-centered, or at least thinks it's high-centered.
There is a piece of debris that just came out from underneath Weather Report, but I'm not sure if that's what the problem was, because it does still seem to have some sort of weapon issue.
BumbleBlitz really needs to be hitting right now.
Yeah, let's see a slam or something.
Either their weapon is not working, or they're playing some sort of 5D chess that I can't understand.
Yeah, Liam's got some sort of strategy going on, or maybe they're trying to communicate with the other team to help them get unstuck. Not sure.
Still, those pins, if you can quite call it that, are demonstrating control in this match. They're scoring points. Just not nearly as many as a good weapon hit would be.
And keep in mind, the pins from both sections of this multi-bot configuration count. Nice hit there.
That's what that robot needs to be doing over and over again. Assert dominance, BumbleBlitz.
And you can see one of those shuffler pods still working. The other one is stuck up. I'm not sure if it's stuck on the cam, but the weapon's still functioning on Weather Report. Carrie Weaver showing that functionality here at the end of the fight.
Yeah, in any case, this has gone to the judges. We are going to see what they have to say in just a few minutes. I have my biases, I think, in terms of who I think won, but I'm really interested to see what the actual score breakdown is. I think that will be very telling.
Yeah, with the weapon going down on Liam's robot BumbleBlitz, kind of. He still could do something with it. It wasn't fully knocked out.
Yeah.
But the half of the drive going down on Weather Report, like, how are they going to weigh that?
All right, we do have a judge's decision that just came in right now. Let's check that out for the previous fight.
Mm-hmm. No surprise there, but look at that difference. So we have obviously a unanimous decision for Steggy, but 1-6 split on Judge 1 and 2. That is a big difference. They saw something in that fight that really struck differently for each of those two judges.
And nonetheless, same result coming out of that. So John Flack and Steggy will move on to the next round. Very happy to see that for him. Yeah, Minun and Plusle, great showing. Probably their best showing so far. But they are out of this tournament for now.
They absolutely are. They may get a chance for a third-place fight here later in the evening to see who, you know, as they battle through things.
Yep.
But in the meantime, John Flack bringing home for what they call the Florida Bot Mafia. I think he's one of the young members.
Sure is.
Young representatives. There's an incredible group of builders down there, has been for years and years. Every time they come up here, we see something different. And yet, it's kind of, what's the wedding phrase? Something old, something borrowed?
Something blue.
Yeah, I don't see blue as much. But the rest of them, it's something new. It's amazing.
All right, we're going to check in upstairs with Luke. Luke, what do you got for us?
I'm upstairs here, and I was planning on interviewing Dr. Magnus Ambrose Detritus. Now, however, when I went to ask him, there was a swish of the cape, a big poof of smoke, and the hat was the only thing that was left. So here, I'm going to show you Mr. Roper. Now, Mr. Roper has captured hearts and minds here, and every single NHRL fan worth their salt absolutely loves Mr. Roper. Now, this is a close-up of the pit area. Lots of mystical objects, lots of mysterious things that keep these robots running, and I, for one, want a little miniature toy of it. I am a huge Mr. Roper fan. Cannot wait to see the return of this robot later in the season.
Wow, thank you, Luke.
Back to you.
That is a really ridiculous pit setup. You gotta love it.
Everything going on there, and the pit setup is to me, it's the hat. That's the ridiculous aspect here. I couldn't look at anything else.
It's pretty phenomenal.
I tuned out immediately. I think Luke spoke, but all I saw was hat. All I heard was hat.
All right, guys, let's check in with Chris. He's cage side with Liam and BumbleBlitz.
That's right. I am here with Liam and BumbleBlitz. What an absolute crazy slugfest. This started with Weather Report with that weapon that has an over 300-mile-an-hour tip speed. You go in there, you're a grapple bot. You got this really interesting articulating mechanism with your own vert on top. But it's looking a little off right now. Can you walk us through that first half of the match when things were kind of leaning against you?
So at the first half of the match, we exchanged a good few blows. I managed to put a big dent into his top plate, which appeared to get one of his drive sides out. Although at the same time, I believe that he hit my arm, which caused the UHMW to break. So from there, I'm like, okay, he's down a degree of freedom, I'm down a degree of freedom. If I just went in aggression and control, then I believe I can win the match. So I went into control bot mode, and with the main robot's forks and with the help of the mini bot, we just controlled the match, made sure we were patient, don't take any risks, and just show the judges that we are aggressive and we control the match.
Well, we'll see if the judges saw all those pins in the last 70, 80 seconds of the match, and we'll see if those points push things in your direction. So fingers crossed. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Chris. We are going to head over to cage one. We got another big robot fight for you.
This is Blackjack versus Caldera 12.
And what a matchup here. These are pillars of the community and staples of the NHRL robot world.
And they were both really big in the 3-pound class, so it's awesome to see them scaling up to 12.
Speaking of 3-pound Caldera.
When you get too big for the 3-pound class, you go to 12. But you're right, as Kyle was about to point out, the mini-bot, the smaller section of the multi-bot setup for Caldera 12 is in fact Caldera 3.
You gotta love that. Now there's Drew Davis and his two boys. They are operating the entire multi-bot configuration that is Blackjack.
2, 1, fight. Robots
True
fight.
family affair, as Glenn Boxall is driving with his son Brian.
First big hit has Caldera 12 inverted.
Huge hits. I can't tell, is the front plow now missing from Blackjack, or is it simply minimal to start with?
I think it's gone.
Yeah, there are little bits and pieces of it.
It's shattered on impact.
Wow.
Caldera 12 is terrifying. Look at that. Oh, no.
Yes, but it is not missing, Kyle. It is still there. The bumper on the corner is gone.
I see, yep.
But that steel front plow is still absorbing the impact from Caldera. That weapon struggling for a moment on Caldera and then coming back.
How about on Blackjack? Is Blackjack spinning?
I cannot quite tell. It doesn't sound like it. If it is, it's not. Oh, yes. Yes, it is.
Yeah, still spinning. You still have the sparks there.
Spinning slower than it was, but definitely still going. Still anyone's match, but look at the dead silence of the smaller robots in the arena right now. This is all about the main bot versus main bot. And you know what? We're both right. Half of the front armor on Caldera is in place. It was split in half
Wow.
What a driving challenge for Blackjack right now. It needs to lead with that edge that's still intact. If it doesn't, it is dead in an instant.
Absolutely, everything's exposed right there. Glenn does seem to be having a little bit of mobility issues, trying to get back so he gets a little bit more space to maneuver in for the shot that he wants.
Yes, but not nearly as much mobility issues as Blackjack is having. Can't quite leave the perimeter of their robot. Oh, going in reverse seemed to help.
There it is.
The weapon has slowed and intermittently stopped on Caldera. Something has gone wrong. This match could drastically change direction if they can't keep that weapon spun up.
The spinner on the smaller Caldera is still working, but the larger one does seem to be having intermittent issues.
Oh, there it is! Caldera on fire!
Unintentional fire in the box.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am relatively confident that is a motor controller. That is the electronics on the inside of Caldera giving up the ghost. The magic smoke escaping, and your winner by knockout will be Blackjack.
You gotta love it.
Wow. I mean, Caldera, massive hits all day. Ripped the belt out of Maximizer through over an inch of UHMW in its first matchup today. You got to imagine those hits have been piling up.
Yes.
As damage internal to that bot.
So what do you think happened, Ricky? Was there some sort of stall on the weapon motor? What would cause a weapon controller to go up like that?
There's one of two things that could have happened here, or likely to have happened here. Either that robot ingested something. You saw bits and pieces of Blackjack go all around the arena. All it takes is one of those little pieces to get sucked into the motor for a ton of resistance to be put into there. Not electrical resistance, but just, you know, something impeding the rotation of that motor.
Kind of like a vacuum sucking up too much hair?
Exactly like that. And that motor is going to overheat, which is going to cause the motor controller to overheat, and it's very quickly going to catch fire. The other thing that can happen is the bearings go. Anything that causes the spinning to get much more difficult is going to cause a thermal runaway event and a fire in short order.
You can see the small robot getting tossed into the air. There's one point where it got tossed up and then struck right out of the air, but there was the flame.
Yep, and your hint that that was going to happen, folks, is that weapon slowed down and stopped a couple of times. It was struggling to spin. It was very difficult for that motor to keep going.
What do you do as a builder? If you know that that's happening, do you baby it?
Well, you can, but that's a gamble too. If your weapon is still running, you can deliver a couple more hits, but then you got to be aggressive. You got to hit those hits one after the other after the other.
Yeah.
Or you can turn your weapon off, be a strategic robot for the rest of the match, turn it on the end to say, hey, I'm still functioning, and that's a gamble too.
Yeah.
Because who knows if you're going to make it to the end of the match.
That's right.
Especially a robot like Caldera that has no wedge. It has a poor geometry when it comes to pushing around its opponent. It is a real struggle for a horizontal spinner like Caldera 12 to be able to control its way to a victory.
Right, so it's primarily set up to just aim that weapon and nothing else.
Deliver big hits, and if it can't do that for the duration of a match, it is a long shot to be able to bring home a victory.
Well, he took the gamble and went up in flames, unfortunately.
Sometimes it's the way it just goes.
Blackjack not looking much better for the wear, going up against BumbleBlitz in the next round.
Some significant repairs to do. Maybe some welding is up. Hopefully there's a spare front wedge for Blackjack.
Whew. My goodness, we are going to go now to a judge's decision on that last match, not a last matchup, recent matchup. BumbleBlitz, no surprise, taking home an across-the-board victory. Perfectly identical scores. I think that's well-deserved, don't you, folks?
Absolutely. Yep. They got so many control points towards the end of that matchup. Even though they lost the connection between the weapon and the arm, it was still functioning.
Yes.
And I believe he has a spare weapon arm upstairs, so he can get it fixed.
All right, we're gonna go check in with Chris cage side. Chris, how you doing?
Hey guys, I'm here with Drew Davis and Blackjack, or what's left of Blackjack. Now, I absolutely love this match. It was two families, and both of your teams prove that families that fight together stay together. Walk us through, first of all, what each of your roles are on the team, and then tell us what your roles are going to be when you get back up into the pits and you need to get this thing ready for your next fight.
Luckily, I have another one, so that's probably going to happen. This one is totally destroyed. Wheel is done. Everything's done. But these are the two best mini bot drivers on the planet right here. All right, my son Cam and Jules. Their job is to pin, distract, high center, and they do a great job. Now, they went against Caldera. Even a 3-pound one is super dangerous, and they got obliterated, but that's all right. They stayed alive as long as I needed them to, and so did this. And that's what I build. I build tough bots that stay alive as long as I need them to.
Well, now Glenn's mini bot driver is Brian Bach, so one of the best in the game, and both of you went head-to-head with one of the best drivers in the game. Tell us, what are your thoughts going into the rest of the bracket today?
That was crazy.
That was crazy. That was awesome.
I'm just scared to fight BumbleBlitz because we're.
Oh, hey, that's a
reasonable fear.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good corral bout, but it's good to know that you got a whole nother one waiting to go upstairs. Are you feeling optimistic?
Feeling optimistic. I got to fix the controller. My transmitter was bugging out for a second, but I'm feeling optimistic. That bot has a ton of attachments, a bunch of options it could throw at you. It's gonna be tough, but this was tough. I've never experienced anything like that. That was great.
Yeah, there's a. You might as well just go ahead and make that one a paperweight, but it's good to know you got another one ready to go. Good luck. Back to you guys at the desk.
All right, thank you, Drew. We are now going to check out the bracket as it just got busted for me. Let's see how it looks for you. Up at the top, we have Pramheda versus Steggy. Down at the bottom, yes, it will be BumbleBlitz versus Blackjack.
This is a pretty diverse set of robots.
Sure is.
Here, we've got new robots, at least new to NHRL, classic robots for NHRL.
Yeah.
We've got overhead hammer saws. We've got vertical spinners, and we've got a horizontal spinner. That's a lot of variety in one Final Four bracket.
Very cool. And now, folks, from the 12-pounders down to the 3-pounders, we're going to head to cage 3, where we have Chainsaw Kitty and Beetlejuice. This is an epic rematch, the 3rd time they're fighting. Beetlejuice and Ariel took it the first 2 times.
That was a very different Chainsaw Kitty back then.
Yes, she has gotten so good, so fast.
Similarly, though, Ariel has had a nearly flawless day. The bot has been working beautifully, and Keziah and Chainsaw Kitty have been plagued with issues throughout the day. Intermittent transmitter issues, the bot shutting down when the weapon spins up.
1. Fight, robots, fight.
And away we go, Chainsaw. Whoa!
Nasty!
Oh, folks, that is one of the biggest 3-pound hits we have ever had here.
Ow! And no relenting. Just right back in it for the third huge massive.
Oh, and Beetlejuice giving what it gets.
Yeah, both still spinning strong. Looks like Chainsaw Kitty might be missing a touch of front arm. So many roof shots.
Robot friends, this cage has an extendedly high roof, and it has robots bouncing off that roof, hit after hit after hit.
Chainsaw Kitty tumbling around the box, trying to get back on its wheels.
Chainsaw Kitty, very point and shoot, aim, weapon, and fire, and there it goes again.
Wow. Toaster behind the house spot. You gotta love it.
The weapon now down on Beetlejuice and on fire.
Something had to give, and it just so happened to be the internals of Beetlejuice.
That is a tap out. Chainsaw Kitty heading to the final 2.
Semi-final round, they will be facing the winner of Stag Beetlebot or Red Panda.
What a fight.
Amazing fight between these two, just back and forth, vicious. something had to give. It just so happened to be the insides of Beetlejuice.
This is, despite all of the work and all of the times Keziah Sky has fought here with Chainsaw Kitty, this is the first time that she is moving on to the semifinals.
Absolutely. Wow. Final four just happened for her. First time ever.
That cage is a mess in there. That was so many hits. All the walls got touched. That was incredible.
Oh yeah, every aspect of that cage was affected by this fight in some way or another.
No, it's that billiards rule. You touch every side and, you know, something special happens. I don't know how pool works, but it worked in this cage. Also, let's take a second here. The emotions cage side right now are palpable from, you know, 30 feet away. I can feel the relief, the happiness, the joy, the grief. There's every drama theater's like goals are happening.
Yeah,
to our left right
so
now.
much emotion evoked. I got chills in that one. I'll admit it.
Two drivers who did an absolutely phenomenal job in that matchup. Two builders who brought their top game to that fight. It just so happened that Chainsaw Kitty came out on top, but the amount of hits and roof shots that Beetlejuice took and kept on fighting.
Yeah, and let's make this technical for a second. Both of those hits were intense for both the robot receiving and the robot doling them out. What made that fight matter, what it really came down to, is the fact that Chainsaw Kitty can take the recoil from those hits over and over again. It was just as if that robot was built less sturdy, if it was built with just a little less care, those impacts would damage Chainsaw Kitty and it would be dead in the water, and obviously it would be Beetlejuice's game. It's that back and forth and not just building it to take hits, but building it to give hits in a way that is reliable that made the difference.
Two big firsts for Keziah Sky and Chainsaw Kitty. First of all, moving on to the semifinal round. First time ever, and first time defeating Beetlejuice in a matchup.
Nice. No 3-0. She stopped it.
Yeah, anyhow, we are going to go to Chris now. Chris, what can you tell us your cage side with Keziah?
Keziah, you broke the 5th place curse! Finally. You broke it!
I'm not done yet. Yeah.
Yes, couple more fights. This is it. Do you, like, tell me what is going through your brain right now going into the end of the night?
I have been absurdly anxious all day because Kitty's been having many electrical issues. This seems to be the only Kitty that's not affected, so this one Kitty's going to finish out the night.
That's it. I believe in you. This is it. Let's do it. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Chris. And again, that emotion just coming through. We are going to go right to cage 2. We have a 3-pound match for you. Hurt Caboose is going up against Jelly Baby.
Jelly Baby, the second offering from Sleepy Girl Anime Club, Keziah Sky's team. It's just a wide control bot, extremely well driven.
Can I point out that the uneven googly eyes is a phobia I didn't know I had?
Yeah, it's unsettling.
It is.
With a slightly twitching crab-esque mouth.
Yeah, it's...
Ugh.
Oh, I didn't even think of it as crustacean-like, and now I won't be able to unsee it.
Is that the term? Not crab-esque?
Crab-esque, yes. I think, you know, it's a regional thing.
You're going to have to take that up with Paige. Paige Clayfield is the builder and designer of this bot.
It has little mandibles that move, and that's 100% all I can see.
Yeah, yeah.
Like a District 9 alien a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
Little clicking and mandible noises.
Hurt Caboose, of course, brought by Angel Vidal from Team Shreddit.
Been doing great all day.
Yeah, one of their best showings, really. And this is usually a very solid bot. Comes out here and does a phenomenal job every time.
Now, this is going to be interesting because Hurt Caboose does really well against high-energy robots because it's a robot that can continuously dish out hits without destabilizing itself. It's very planted, and even when it does destabilize itself, it recovers very quickly. It's not going up against a big kinetic energy opponent. It's going up against a control robot, and surprisingly, it has had a lot of trouble with that in the past.
Yeah.
If it can win, it's going to have not a lot of damage, more than likely.
4,
but it's going to have to kind of break its own
Robots
Now you can see her Caboose has gotten a little bit of help from Team GrumpleBots, bringing in their fork bot to add some control and some wedging to this configuration.
Wow. Look at the scale difference between Jelly Baby and Hurt Caboose. Hurt Caboose, relatively
Nice
compact.
pin.
Jelly Baby, incredibly wide.
That's exactly what Jelly Baby wants to do. Use that width to just get pin after pin.
Hurt Caboose trying to get up to speed, but not able to get much engagement with that weapon, even at full speed. Geometry definitely in Jelly Baby's favor. Ooh. Some grinding hits there. Not much of an effect. Wow, really impressive. Jelly Baby able to give a pin and then act as a ramp if needs be to avoid damage with these engagements.
Now we have some pretty strict pin rules. You can only pin for so long. You have to disengage when the ref tells you. And there's a frequency to pinning that you can achieve.
Yeah, you also have to fully disengage after a pin. So far, Jelly Baby is keeping it tight. Paige is driving very close to the rules.
Now, what can Angel do in this situation? He's got to hit the flank of Jelly Baby in some way. But
yeah.
It's tough without that mobility.
Right now, it looks like he's stuck up against the wall. He's called for the unstick. Nice,
Ow.
able to get underneath there. That was really good. And then another high centering from Team GrumpleBots.
Man, what a demonstration of design intent by Jelly Baby.
You can see without Tom Farkas' help, her Caboose really wouldn't have gotten any hits so far in this matchup. That just wide dustpan style, so effective at scooping her Caboose up.
It seems kind of like a hybrid of the Flamethrower Bot Collide and an SSP kit.
I do see a lot of both of those robots in this robot. And you got to remember, the things that make Hurt Caboose a durable robot against high-energy robots are exactly what's holding it back here. It's a lack of bite. It's kind of gentle hits. It's not a strong ground game.
Yeah.
This is going to the judges. I think it's pretty darn clear how this is going to go.
Absolutely.
I think you called that from the get-go, Ricky. That was accurate.
Yeah.
Well,
it's almost like he's done this before.
Some of these things really do turn into a rock, paper, scissors match, and you can see paper just swallowing rock over and over again in this fight. That weapon on Hurt Caboose was never able to get the bite that it needs to get.
No.
Even when it could connect, it was a very glancing blow.
Yep.
And Jelly Baby was able to just continue unimpeded with its pinning process and do exactly what it wanted.
And no visible damage on Jelly Baby at the end of that fight at all.
No, I mean, a little bit of bend that will definitely buff out.
There's a fight in Cage 3.
We're going to go to Cage 3. I don't think this is going to be another match with a low level of damage. Let me tell you.
I don't think so either.
No, absolutely not. This is IMPAKT versus Eruption.
Both of these robots are armed to the teeth.
All right, we've got IMPAKT in the pink corner and Eruption in the blue corner.
4, 3, 2, 1. Fight. Robots fight.
Two of the best drivers in this 3-pound weight class, Brian Boxel and Lars. Woo-wee. Nasty hit there from IMPAKT, launching Eruption across the arena. Eruption on its head. Beautiful shot there against the multi-bot configuration on IMPAKT, flying across the arena. Now IMPAKT on its head, trying to self-right against the arena wall.
There is so much contact on the walls and the roof of this arena today. Huge pieces of the floor are being ripped up as well. but both robots still spinning full blast.
Beautiful shot there from Eruption.
I spoke too soon. IMPAKT's weapon has stopped at this point. Its belt is hanging limp by its side. This is 100% Eruption's game now.
This is a very updated version of Eruption with a belt-driven weapon. One of the first times we've ever seen that from this team. And it's working beautifully today. Look at these shots.
I'm just so impressed by how Brian can not oversteer. He's just so tight with his turns while dealing with the gyro forces.
It's all about practice. He makes it look easy, but that is not an easy feat to pull off.
Okay, now I'm watching his hands on the transmitter, and it's such fast movements. He's like really feathering and pulsing the controller.
It's, you know, in fighter jets, they build in instability to make them more nimble. That's what's going on here. He's twitching.
Okay.
And when you twitch a little more in one direction, you steer instantly in that direction.
Look at that shot.
We are starting a countdown. This is going to be the end of the match. Eruption is going to take it home by knockout.
IMPAKT just stuck into the floor. No unsticks left. Lars in defeat. Brian in celebration. Knockout victory. Eruption will be going on to face Hurt Caboose in the next round. I mean, the amount of driving talent in that arena for that matchup
that was awesome.
That was insane.
You got to remember, too, Eruption, while a huge name here at NHRL, has not had a great streak lately.
No.
They really are working their way back up to the glory they once had, and boy, was it on display here. So much power in that weapon. You can see these exchanges. That was probably the best hit that we saw out of IMPAKT. The rest of this were big hits by Eruption.
Just, the strikes are almost animalistic off of Eruption, like a cobra or a big cat.
And I'll point out something too. Both of these robots were well driven in this match. They did what they wanted to do. It came down to what are the designs of these robots and which one's going to come out on top. And what we saw decisively is that in this matchup, IMPAKT is coming out on the losing end.
Yeah.
It's just the mechanics and the structure of the robot. If any of them had messed up, it could have been a different story, but it was a well-driven match. It's just about mechanics.
What about the mechanics? Is it the size of that spinner that it has?
It's probably I'd have to go back and watch it in slow-mo. It's probably a combination of the speed of the weapon and the height and reach of the weapon.
Yeah.
It's all about which one can get slightly under the other one and hit before the weapon comes around again to hit itself. Like, it's this, balance between having something that's fast, having something that's quickly delivered, so you need to be able to charge fast enough.
Okay.
There's a lot of factors that go in, and it all balance out in a way that you can't predict until the match actually happens.
All right, we are going to go cage side with Chris. Chris, who do you got for us?
I'm here with Brian Boxall, and it wasn't just the crowd erupting before. This bot, Eruption, was absolutely dominant in the fight. This is a new Eruption like we haven't seen before. Walk us through it.
So 2023, I took a year and developed a Beetle called Fireball, right? I learned a lot, and one of the things that I learned was powerful drive is the most important factor to a four-wheel drive vertical spinner. So I took all those learnings from Fireball, threw them back into Eruption, beefed up the weapon system with belt drive, and this thing drives like a dream. I could not be happier with how this robot is doing today.
All right, well, you still got a little bit more night to go. Good luck. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Chris. And that is kind of what I expected to hear. That is a well-built, well-tuned machine. In the meantime, we're going to Cage 2. Sam, who have we got in Cage 2?
It looks like we have Stag Beetlebot and Red Panda.
Red Panda having a great run today, and I gotta say, Stag Beetlebot, this is their best performance so far.
Yeah, absolutely. They are getting so deep in this tournament, and they've really earned it, honestly. No robot has lucked its way to this point in the bracket today. It does happen sometimes, where it's just a turn of fate.
4,
This is not that.
2, 1, fight. Robots fight.
I've been very impressed with Red Panda all day, but my heart says Stag Beetlebot. I am a bug lover, so.
Absolutely. Michael Cross and Stag Beetlebot, he's an important part of this community. Really started out as a bit of a kit basher, putting 2 different kits together and kind of figuring it out, making it work. Now he's got much more of a custom machine, but he is going up against a vicious competitor in Red Panda.
I love the simplicity of Red Panda. It's just a get back to basics vertical spinner, and it's well driven, it's calm, it's not it's a well balanced machine.
Yeah, the only thing really super special about this machine apparently is an absurd battery capacity.
You know, that's nice sometimes. It's something I never would have planned for till I lucked into it myself, but being able to get out of a fight, it goes very well. Go upstairs, leave your robot on the table, go get a snack, and come back can be a huge boost when you don't have to sit there, take your robot apart, charge all the batteries, put it back together, double check it, safety check it. Oh my goodness, folks. Look at the spinner on the front of Stag Beetlebot. That weapon is dented in hard.
Wow. Yeah.
That is supposed to be kind of a zero-shaped beater bar, and it is bent inwards.
Ouch.
Red Panda is just taking it to everyone in this cage.
Red Panda is intent for our housebot to have a new hat in the form of Stag Beetlebot. I want to see if he can manage.
Red Panda brought to you by Jaron Levinson. He's one of the WPI team from Massachusetts, having his best showing at a competition here at NHRL to date.
I can't overemphasize this enough. The entire weapon on Stag Beetlebot is dented in right now. That's like a half-inch of aluminum that just got bent in probably by 3/4 of an inch.
And a lot of robots use that exact weapon.
Right.
And you don't see that often at all here.
That's even the smaller diameter version of that weapon. You'd think that'd be even harder to compact in on itself just because it's so much smaller and tighter.
It would be. And I mean, you don't look at Red Panda and say, wow, that is packing a huge punch. I just said it is not putting that much of its, let's say, its skill set into weapon power, and it still hits like that. That is incredible. We are coming down. It looks like this is going to be a judge's decision. Both of these robots are driving beautifully still. However, without a weapon coming out of this bench, Stag Beetlebot is not looking like a contender any longer.
By the way, shout out to Michael Cross's bracketing system for that weapon, able to hold it in place so that it could be bent in like that without breaking.
Yeah,
Really
a lot
impressive.
of times we see those weapons get dislodged entirely. Not today.
And so much joy on Michael Cross's face. That's one thing you got to say about Michael Cross. He is here for the love of the game. He is just so happy to support his teammates, so happy to be at the competition. And just a phenomenal showing today, whether or not this judge's decision goes his way.
We're going to go to the replay. Let's take it out.
Ouch. Nice hit there.
You can see the drive side did get pretty darn dented in on Stag Beetlebot. It eventually kind of woke up a little more, but that doesn't change the fact that its weapon was down, I think, for the majority of that fight.
Yeah.
Certainly a sizable portion of the time in the arena. That was really a great showing by Red Panda.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I am too. The judge's decision has come in for an earlier fight. We're going to have it up here on screen. Jelly Baby taking it home. Honestly, I am surprised that was a split decision.
Yeah. No,
2-1 Jelly Baby win. They will be moving on.
that doesn't make sense as a split decision to me. I mean, I get that the split is a little close there, but that was pretty decisive in my mind.
I thought so, but you know, we don't necessarily have the best seats in the house for making those distinctions, and in the end, it sounds like we agree anyway with the way the final score ended up going overall. Let's take it, let's move on, and let's see how they do in the next round of fights.
Amen to that. So Jelly Baby will be facing off against Eruption in the next round. Not a bad matchup for them, honestly.
No, it's a matchup that could go either way. I think everyone is going to be, let's put it this way, I think it's going to be a good show.
You gotta love it when you're a rookie bot like that going up against a legend like Eruption, and you got a chance. You got a shot.
Yeah.
What is going on in Cage 1, y'all think? I saw a lot of robots in there.
Yeah, it looked a little absurd. This is the part of the day where we need a little bit more time for our builders to put in work, to put in effort. So we've planned some, shall we say, mini games, some side quests, if you will.
All right, so this looks like the UCCR Rumble. So, whoa.
Oh.
Okay.
My word.
All right. So the University of Cincinnati Robotics Club, they're just gonna wreck each other's bots down.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, they've come a long way. They don't want to carry all those robots home. It's much easier if they just throw them in the dumpster in pieces.
Is that Maximizer with the goofy thing in the middle?
It sure looks like it. I can't tell if that robot is spinning to make the blade spin or if trying to spin the blade is causing the robot to spin.
Yeah, there's some weird physics happening there.
These robots have all been through hell today. They are beaten, battered, still functioning, but they're all very, very tired.
You got to imagine they don't have an opportunity to rumble like this back home in Ohio.
No, at best, they probably have a small cage the size of one of our 3-pound arenas. It is so rare to be able to play even in one of these larger 30-pound cages. When you come across the country to compete in a place like this, you're going to take advantage of it.
And they are having a blast.
Yeah, there's nothing but smiles around this arena. No one is putting a robot in that cage without being pleased about utter and sheer destruction. I really love the giant blade on Maximizer. It's so silly. I don't know how to describe that motion.
It reminds me of a shuffling system for a walking robot.
It does. If you put it on its side on a larger robot, it would walk forward or backwards when turned on.
You can't say they didn't come out here to have a good time. This is so ridiculous. I love it. And, you know, shout out to Jake for organizing this with the team, getting everybody out here, getting all the travel arrangements put together.
For sure. I also want to throw out there, I don't know how well it comes in on the speakers at home, but the sheer shrieking of gearboxes and motors in this arena is a sound, it's almost indescribable. It's like a Stephen King movie when something trans-dimensional shows up.
Looks like Maximizer's the only one that's losing.
Everybody wins except you, Maximizer.
So the count out is happening. This doesn't go to a judge's decision. This doesn't go to knockout. This is just for funsies.
Maybe it goes to like a vibe check.
Ooh, I like that. This goes to a vibe check.
You know, in moments like this, sometimes we go to the crowd for the vibe check. But we would have to go through robot by robot and announce and listen for cheers. I don't know that we have an accurate list of every robot that was in that arena right now.
You know who won? Ohio. Ohio won.
Yes, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen of the audience, those in favor of Ohio winning, can we hear you?
Yeah. Four people, Ricky.
Four people think Ohio won. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate that. There you go. There's the Ohio love.
You gotta love it.
That's a long way to come. I mean, and you think about it. The competitors here, so many of them are here for the joy of the show.
Yeah.
Almost all of them are here to compete, but some of them are really just trying to do something special, something interesting, and something fun. We are going to go to the judge's decision now. Sam, you want to read this off?
Yeah, let's see. It's Red Panda by a unanimous decision. No real surprise on that. He was fairly dominant that entire fight, but big ups to Stag Beetlebot. You made it extremely far. You're a pleasure to watch fight.
That's a good run. Absolutely.
All right, so that's going to put a pause on our 3-pound action for a little while. We're going to go back. So we're going to go back to the 30-pound bracket. The feature fight that we saw there was Emulsifier versus Smack-O-Lantern, first fight of the day. Look at these shots. I mean, Smack-O-Lantern really surviving this onslaught.
Yeah, the fact that that robot is still, I don't want to say one piece, it's clearly not, but the fact that it's still generally together and the wheels were still spinning is a testament to the build quality, and for a new builder, that is incredible. On the flip side, the Emulsifier team is terrifying. I would not want to be on the receiving end of one of those hits, let alone dozens, the way that we saw in Smack-O-Lantern.
So let's check in on the 30-pound bracket right now to see who Emulsifier will be going up against. Emulsifier versus the upstarts from MIT, Aries. They will be facing off against the winner of Vorion versus Beast. All Stone Cold killers, two veterans of the sport in Emulsifier and Vorion. And I gotta say, Brandon Bennett Young has been chasing Emulsifier for years now in this weight class. Will they get their number today? We won't even find out till the finals if that's gonna happen.
No exaggeration. Emulsifier is Brandon's white whale at this point. He's taken down all of his other mythical beasts.
Yes, there is one challenge remaining for Brandon.
Yes, and that is Emulsifier.
All right, in cage 4, it is Emulsifier and Aries. This is gonna be so good, guys. I'm excited.
Aries brought to you by Ryan Duarte. This is the MIT Combat Robotics team.
4, 3, 2, 1. Fight, robots, fight.
Go.
Nice dodge from the Aries team there.
Oh, huge,
Beautiful.
huge hit. Another huge hit. Oh my God! Look at that. That robot is skewered into our floor.
He lawn darted him.
He absolutely lawn darted it. That was a tap out, I believe.
Oh my goodness. I think that was, look at that.
No.
Is that too deep for Fluffy?
No, it is not a tap out. It's a call for an unseen.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Those forks still embedded in the floor, and now Emulsifier coming to help.
And he's ahead.
Aries is ahead. Aries is ahead. Will it get down? Yes.
No, that robot is dead. He's
Wow.
out. Emulsifier is headed to the finals for the March 30-pound bracket.
Matt Borres and Emulsifier, your reigning and defending 30-pound champion, moves on to the finals at the March events.
What a show. What a dominant performance. There was one moment of chance where it could have gone the other way, and it was not snagged. Emulsifier recovered beautifully from that initial whiff. They qualify for the World Championships officially. We will be seeing them. And you know what? I don't think we're going to see them again for the rest of the year. They did exactly what they came here to do, and they did it almost perfectly.
They show up in March, they win a dumpster or qualify, and they go home for the rest of the year, put that thing up on a shelf, and just relax.
I said it earlier today, but I asked them before the fights, they said, what did you need to fix before this event? And they looked at me like, what are you stupid? Like, we didn't need to fix anything. We're the reigning champion. We're good. We're just here to win our spot and go home.
We might need to fix the ceiling after that one. That was such a roof shot, and we're about to see it here.
Weapon to weapon impact not working out great for Aries. That shot into the roof. They come right back down and lawn darted into the floor.
Wow.
I mean, just spiked him in.
He was out of frame for so long.
Yeah. The hang time was incredible.
Nothing touching the floor on that robot except for those 2 forks.
I want to point out something beautiful, too. Emulsifier turned its weapon down the moment that hit happened. Incredibly smart and conservative driving that you only see from a veteran. Something you would never know to do unless you've had that experience in the past. Even on the precipice of winning a fight like that, they're still playing it safe.
Right.
We are going to go to Chris. Chris, what do you have for us?
I'm here with 2023 World Champion Matt Boras, Emulsifier. Textbook Emulsifier. That was insane. I gotta change my shorts. Tell us about the fight and what on earth there was one bot that was being worn like a hat on our house bot. It got speared into the ground. It was insane. Just walk us through it.
Yeah, I mean, it was total chaos. I didn't even know what the heck was going on half the time, but that one hit, I had to do a double takes. They just stuck the landing straight in the floor. We're sticking up, and they got the unstick, and then they ended up on top of Fluffy, and
Normally,
I got the win.
Normally you see bots popping around like that in Beetle weights, but it was happening at 30 pounds. Tell us about the energy in the weapon that is making that a reality.
Yeah, the weapon on Emulsifier is no joke. It stores quite a lot of energy, and it's roofed numerous 30s since it's been here.
You're qualified again for the World Championships. Do you think you're going to do it again this year? You think you're going to take the dumpster today?
We're going to try. We got one more left to go, and, we're in a good position. We got both robots working good, and, that's all you can do.
Now that you qualified, are you going to ghost us for the year and then do the Matt Boras thing and just kind of emerge out of cocoon?
Yeah, and the robot's going back on the shelf for 9 months, and we'll just bring it.
Well, good luck. You got another match coming up. Best of luck. Let's do it. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Chris. Matt Boras just levels above. That robot has remained relatively unchanged for 4 years now. Yeah. And it is just unstoppable.
It is one of the few robots here that I feel like isn't held back when it has that sense of pride. Normally, humility is your friend here. You want to dot every I, cross every T, rebuild and practice as much as you can. And from where I'm sitting, they don't have to. I can't come up with a reason that they have to do that.
There is just one bot at this competition that's even proposed a problem for them, and they've beaten them multiple times now.
There's...
Is that Megatron?
Megatron. It's the only bot that has shown that they have a chance against Emulsifier.
That is stunning. I am excited to see what NHRL brings in the finals to try and take Emulsifier off its throne. And in the meantime, we're going to see which of these two competitors in Cage 1 is going to get a golden ticket to do exactly that. We have Vorion going up against Beast again in the 30-pound bracket. One of these robots will be guaranteed a spot to go and try and dethrone Emulsifier at the end of the year.
Before this match starts, I just want to say congratulations to the team from ASU. First time here at NHRL, getting a bot into the semifinals in the 30-pound bracket. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Really impressive work from that team.
5, 4, 3, 2.
But now
1.
they're going up against a dialed-in
Robots
seasoned
fight.
competitor in Brandon Bennett-Young and his apex predator known as Vorion.
Few exchanges without a true winner from these, kind of feeling each other out.
Those are very even. Now, guys, the way this is going to work, in theory, is that Vorion is going to try and play the ground game, get under Beast, and be able to win those weapon exchanges simply because it is under the other robot. So far, though, that is not happening.
Well, you see the fork on the right side of Vorion there is, it seems to be lodged upwards. I don't know if it got bent out of shape, but that is not going to help them with those ground game engagements.
No, every benefit that having that fork was giving before, it is doing the opposite now. Still, Vorion getting a lot of contact. You see a lot of sparks flying. I don't see any movement from Beast now.
No, that was a series of hits that didn't look super impressive from the outside, but you got to imagine each one doing just a little bit of damage on the inside of Beast.
And that accumulative damage is on top of all day he's been receiving damage from these fights.
Yeah, these robots have taken a pounding.
Yeah, keep in mind, Brandon had a bye at the beginning of the day. He's been sitting around for literally half the day waiting.
Yeah, I talked to him earlier, and he seemed a little bored. He kind of had the same face he has on right now.
So he's got a little bit of time to get that fork arrangement fixed up. This is probably the configuration he's going to want to run in the next round against
the Emulsifier.
The Emulsifier. This is the white whale. This is who he's been hunting this entire time. I cannot wait to see this matchup.
Well, congrats to Brandon for once again qualifying for championships at the end of the year. He qualified with 3 robots in 2023, so I'm excited to see if he can top that this year, perhaps. I know he's got a bunch of bots in the works, but let's check the replay from that fight. Not a lot of huge exchanges like we had just seen in that Emulsifier fight.
No, but make no mistake, the sparks are flying. These are still major exchanges. The damage that gets done internally from the vibrations, from the shrapnel that's flying. Sometimes there's piercing bits that you can't see on the underside. It's no joke whatsoever.
Now, Sam, I want to go back to something you said earlier. When I was talking to Brandon earlier today, he mentioned he has a very similar strategy with Vorion. He wants to qualify with it today, which, by the way, he just did. And he wants to just let it sit on the shelf. He has other plans. He has other things he wants to work on, try out, new designs that he's working on for the year. So this probably is the last time we're going to see Vorion right up until the World Championships.
Yeah, and let me tell you, I am excited to see that. The stuff that Brandon has in store is really cool.
That's awesome.
And it's cool, he's been blogging on his own website for his team, Bone Dead Robotics, so you can follow these builds and see what it takes to put these robots together at that scale and at that level.
Yeah, now, in the meantime, we're going to check in with Chris. Chris, what do you got for us?
I'm here with Brandon Bennett Young, and Brandon, I was just about to ask you what you had to do to fix the fork, and right before I had a chance to do that, I saw him put the bot on the ground and literally kickstart the fork back into position, and it's just good to go.
Yeah, that's right. The funny thing about steel, when you hit it really hard, you can also bend it back if you kick it really hard too.
So Vorion's looking good. It's looking dialed in. What are your thoughts going into the next match?
So the whole plan for the entire day was to get to Emulsifier. I wanted 100% to get to him to get a rematch since the finals. And now that I sort of have him in my sights, I have a lot of different tricks or plans to try out on him and see if I can get some sort of advantage.
It's one of the most damaging bots ever made in the weight class, but some would say the same thing about your bots. What do you think about 2 heavy hitters? It's not going to be as much about a control game. It's not going to be as much about aggressive. It's just going to be who's going to go for the knockout punch.
It's a funny thing. Actually, I think both Emulsifier and I are actually playing the control game quite a bit. We both are trying to play different fork configurations, and he has the multi-bots, obviously. So really the key is getting the angle on him. If I can hit him in the spot that he's weak at, like the treads, he's done for. If he hits me and knocks me out like last time in the finals, then I'm done for. So I got to really be careful on where I want to hit him.
Repeat for the ages. Golden Dumpster winner Brandon Bennett Young, Matt Borez, world champion. We are in store for a very exciting fight. Good luck.
Thank you very much. I'm going to need it.
Back to you guys.
Yeah, this is absolutely a battle of Goliath versus Goliath in the match. Brandon always so tactical, and I know Matt's cooking up something equally as devious up in the pits. It's going to be a lot.
2 of the greatest minds in that weight class going up against each other. Cannot wait to see it. This March action is insane. Meanwhile, let's check in the 12-pound division. We've had insane fights there all day. Let's check out one of our featured bouts from earlier today. This is Blackjack versus Caldera 12. In my mind, one of the biggest upsets of the day. Blackjack just doing some damage.
Yeah, barely holding on by a thread in the process. Caldera 12 is a massively damaging robot, but you can see those dreams went up in smoke, literally in the middle of this match. It was a surprise turn of fate, but Blackjack will be moving on to your finals in the 12-pound class. The semifinals in the 12-pound class.
All right, so this is our bracket action. We have Pramheda going up against Steggy. BumbleBlitz going up against Blackjack. This is a Stag semifinal. Everybody wants to move forward. Quite frankly, anyone could take it at this point.
Yeah, a lot of diversity in these robots. I'm excited to see what the overhead can do against Blackjack from BumbleBlitz. See what sort of top armor Drew has in store.
Now, what configuration do you think Steggy's going to end up having to run against Pramheda?
Probably the undercutter. I don't know if he has many other configurations beyond that.
Yeah, he's a modular robot. He actually has a vertical configuration. He has this undercutter configuration.
Yeah, I don't know what is left functioning is the big question.
That is the question.
What does he have sitting up there ready to go? Because if you can't get it onto the robot, you might as well not have it.
So there is John Flack in cage 4. This is going to be Steggy versus Pramheda.
And there's your answer for you. He is going with the undercutter. John Flack with Steggy. Again, a modular robot, in this case in undercutter. This is his first NHRL event with a 3-1 record coming out of Tampa, Florida. Going up against Zach Knight, an NHRL veteran, a vertical spinner with 13 events under its belt and a massively stunning 29-19 record going into this fight.
This is a stalwart robot at this event. You see Pramheda, you are afraid of Pramheda all the time, but Zach is really going for that brass ring again this time.
I gotta say, John is a level-headed kid, but he looks spooked going to this match, and I cannot blame him.
Yeah, Zach is 2 fights away from 50 total fights.
Oh, yeah.
Pramheda.
This, honestly, is not the best matchup for Steggy. The driving is going to have to be on point to get a good hit in on Pramheda. There are no mini-bots, you'll notice. This is as raw as it gets. Head-to-head battles.
Wow. That was a beautiful bit of cautious driving from Zach Knight.
And there is the belt from Steggy on the ground. That weapon is down. However, it also seems like the weapon on Pramheda's.
Nope,
I spoke too soon.
It's functioning.
Uh-oh.
That's not good. Now, is he able to drive? What's the pause here?
No, that looks to be a tap out.
Understandably so.
Unstick, excuse me.
He called for an unstick, so he thinks he's high-centered on something.
It's possible. It's so hard to tell from the desk sometimes. It's worth it to see if it happens. But, John, my friend, I think you might be dead in the water.
Yeah, understandably so, trying to get that unstick, but I don't see it happening.
Maybe he was hoping for one of those percussive, fluffy unsticks.
That can happen, too.
Wow, look at that bot. I mean, you gotta wonder if it's, you gotta wonder what kind of internal damage that belt just shredded off in that impact. That was a beautiful piece of driving from Pramheda.
Guys, you could see the wheels are actually still spinning on that robot.
I wonder if it just got so bent.
It could very well just be so bent on the underside that those wheels. There it is. Now it's moving again.
Yeah, you're right.
So he was 100% right to call for that unstick. It was not successful, but you do what you can do.
That's got to be frustrating for the Steggy team.
I don't know if they can hear us cage side, but I would love a shot at the underside of that robot.
Now this move right here from Zach Knight, beautiful shot. He comes in, gets this big hit, and then you see the defensive driving. He drives backwards away from Steggy.
Yeah, these hits are so destabilizing. It doesn't take a lot.
Waiting for Steggy to come in, and then boom, holds his ground.
He wants that
Steggy
angle
across.
just right.
Exactly.
That is cool.
Zach is so strategic with this robot. He's been driving it now for so many matchups.
And you saw he was trying over and over again to get Steggy to hit dead center on his wedge. That is the least dangerous for him and the most unsettling for his opponent's weapon, an entire robot for that matter. Man, it is something.
We would love to see the underside of Steggy. I know that it's got to have some sort of big old gouge or dent in it.
Or something else funky could happen. But
maybe there's just some scrap of cage floor.
I'm beside myself with curiosity, I gotta say. Still, that was an incredible driving matchup. It was who flinched first, and the answer to who flinched first was Steggy, unfortunately, for Steggy.
You know, Zach really did bait him into the shot that he needed, the shot that he wanted. I don't know what kind of damage he did to the underside of Steggy to cause that disruption in his drive, but you're right, those wheels were still spinning.
Yeah, and I'll point this out too. It's a gamble. It might be that John looked at that, said, hey, I have an opening. I could take this shot. I could win. I could lose. If there is any defect at all in Pramheda's wedge, it doesn't matter the rock, paper, scissors situation. The weapon on Steggy is going to dig into that wedge and tear it right off. So there's a gamble there, too. You can always say, I think there's something wrong with my opponent. Maybe I can win this exchange despite the odds. So I don't want to say that John was necessarily making an error there. He could have just made a gamble that did not pay off.
All right, so we could see Steggy had to take the whole top plate off just to turn the robot off there.
Oh, look at that. It could be an optical illusion, but it sure looks to me like those two batteries are kind of pyramid shaped.
Coming to a peak.
Coming to a peak, exactly. Coming to a peak in the middle of the robot. A lot of times that will imply that there is a bend on the underside. I don't know if that's the case. I sure hope we get to find out.
All right, while we wait on this one, let's head upstairs to Luke.
They teased us with it, Sam.
Now, Pramheda just came off of a massive punishing win over an undercutter, and that's 2 undercutters in a row. I'm standing here with Nelson Barros with Grim Ripper and the Skeleton Crew. Nelson was running an undercutter and was eliminated in the round of 8. So you know Pramheda very well, you know Zach very well. Are you surprised at all that Zach has advanced?
No, not at all. He's just an awesome competitor, a good person too, and he was out for blood when he came to me because we met in January and I beat him there, so I think he was really trying to teach me a lesson in a good way. So
let's take a look at the robot. The robot is so cool. One of the coolest things about the Grim Ripper is this curved armor body. How did you build that?
So I machined it actually flat, and basically, and then at that point you heat it up and you're able to bend it. So a lot of sort of math has gone into sort of how you make something flat and then actually get it so it bends into the correct shape. A lot of trial and error as well.
Now, you are really great at machining. I want to ask you very quickly about your work with Halloween decorations and your, you have the best Halloween house in all of Franklin, Massachusetts. So you know all of this stuff, right? Like, tell me a little bit more about what people can see.
So, yeah, Franklin has a yearly contest. So we've topped, top first, second, third in the last 4 or 5 years. Animatronics, 12-foot skeleton that's actually talking. We carve foam, we do 3D print full-size stuff. So we do a lot of stuff.
That is the coolest. Can I get a shot of the back of the T-shirt as we say goodbye? Grim Ripper, amazing. Thank you so much. Fantastic work today. Now down to you, Chris, cage side.
Thanks, Luke. I'm here with Florida man John Flack and Steggy. Steggy, you just went head-to-head with Zach Knight. It was a pretty brutal fight. You guys locked horns there for a second. Now the chat really wants to see, and the desk. Let's take a close look at Steggy. Can you hold it up and show the folks at home what's going on underneath this bot right now? So flip it around here this way.
So underneath Steggy, because it's fully modular, we have a couple of brackets here, and every module has this bracket. So I take that off and I can put in whatever I want. But then we also have the undercutter, and that's driven by a pulley here and a pulley here. And then slightly under here, we have these screws that we like to call the anti-kamikaze screws. And what they do is they prevent the weapon from doing this kind of flex when it gets hit and sniping my own belt. And so what we think happened is he hit my weapon tooth here, and that made this flex, and it just completely killed itself.
John, great run today. It's always awesome to see here. Steggy, what an awesome bot. You've had some awesome matches today. Congratulations, and I hope that we see you again soon.
We'll try to come back.
We can hope. We'll hope. Back to you guys at the desk.
We are going straight to cage 1. We have a great fight lined up for you. Liam King with BumbleBlitz from Hollywood, Maryland, coming in with his hammer saw weapon. 2-0 KOs, 6-1 record overall in judges' decisions, going up against Blackjack, brought to you by Andrew Davis. He's from Schenectady, New York, has a terrifying vertical spinner. And 9-7 in KOs and 5-2 in judges' decisions. That's a much more veteran robot by comparison. We'll see if, you know, how the tried and true goes up against the new hotness.
Winner of this matchup will have to go on to face Pramheda in the next round, and a Zach Knight on a mission today for the finals.
Yeah, the next round is it.
Oh, nice shot by BumbleBlitz.
Yeah, that mini bot working fantastically. Oh, such a hit. Look, it is embedded in the top armor on Blackjack.
3 hits in a row. Beautiful strategy done to perfection.
Now, that said, folks at home, you can see the red on Blackjack. That is armor added for just such a robot as BumbleBlitz. That is gooey material called TPU. It absorbs hits very well. Think of it as an extra life or two for big hits on the top armor.
And so throughout the tournament, these robots are able to swap configurations in between fights to present themselves in the most optimal way for their opponent.
Oh, that was a big win exchange for Blackjack. 2 in a row, 3 in a row. Oh, the weapon arm is really struggling to self-right BumbleBlitz. I think they're going to ask for an unstick. It may well be stuck into the ground.
There he's called for the unstick now. In comes Flo. Looks like he's still got some movement on that weapon arm.
Yeah, I can see this unstick happening if things go well. Flo's going to keep trying. I think there needs to be a little more passion, let's say, in this.
Yeah, they're being very gentle.
I understand. Sometimes you want gentle, and sometimes you need an intense blow for self-righting to work.
Yeah, see, that's how you do it.
Yeah,
Thanks for the help.
Show, Flo.
Folks, this is Blackjack's game to lose. BumbleBlitz trying to roll over, but just taking more damage in the process.
Now, these bots are fighting for a guaranteed spot to qualify for the World Championships and the right to face Zach Knight and Pramheda in the finals today. But it looks like the countout is happening, and the knockout just happened.
Wow.
Drew Davis going on to face Pramheda in the finals.
That is a rough blow for Liam. He really, really wanted that win, and it was, he was on the cusp of it. You can see that is a tough blow.
This is the second place for this robot in the past month.
Yeah, and you can tell, folks, this is a robot that is built to win. This is a competitive spirit, a competitive robot. This is a crushing defeat, but I will say there is nothing to be ashamed of with the performance they had today.
Absolutely, and BumbleBlitz has gotten so good in a relatively short time, and you know what? He's not done. He's got a long future ahead of him. We have several events a year, just about every other month, so he could be back again with BumbleBlitz and take it all.
Yeah, absolutely a possibility. And Team Honeycracked is just, you know, they're unstoppable. They just keep coming back.
Early part of the fight was all BumbleBlitz. 3 big shots over top onto Blackjack. Wonderful strategy implemented by the multi-bot configuration. Those cam lifters doing great work. And then all of a sudden, Blackjack turns it on. Taking out the cam lifters, taking out all of the rest of the configuration, and then ripping them over onto their head. They never recovered after this shot.
Tough loss.
Yeah, there is only so much you can say in a moment like that.
Yeah.
Sure, there's no shame. You brought your best. It's good to know that you got that far, but that is a very minor comfort when you were that close to just a little bit more glory.
Yeah, and a situation that he probably feels like he could have gotten out of in a normal circumstance. I mean, that bot's, we've seen it self-right a million times.
Yes, something is going wrong. We saw earlier that the weapon arm was not working and had to be replaced. It was damaged in the last fight.
Yeah.
My bet is that something strange happened in the replacement process. Maybe that was the backup for a reason.
Yep.
Right.
You know, very well could have been. That said, I don't think there's anything intrinsically wrong with the design. I assume he's going to come back with something very similar in the future.
Meanwhile, for the finals of this round, we're going to have Blackjack and Drew Davis going up against Zach Knight and Pramheda. Zach Knight has not won a dumpster since March 2022, 2 years ago. And there has been no golden dumpsters at this weight class for Drew Davis.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not realize that Drew Davis was still 12-pound dumpsterless.
That's correct. So that is, he's going for his first golden dumpster in the 12-pound division today. We'll see how that works out for him. But Zach Knight, a man on a mission. He has been just damaging and destroying his opponents and backing right up to the door at the end of every fight pretty flawlessly as time has gone on.
All right. Let's go ahead to cage side with Chris and check in with Drew Davis there.
I'm here with Drew again, and a Blackjack that's looking fresh.
Not too bad. It's not looking too bad. That was a intense fight. Although it ended a little early, that was intense.
Now,
that's a scary bot.
You've fought this version of Blackjack before, right? Or what we're seeing, everything that just came out of this fight specifically?
It's a new version for. It's a new version. It's just stronger.
So everything that we're seeing, like all of these, if we get a tight shot on that, like. I see, like, you know, on your rabbit ears and stuff, there's some gouges in the TPU. We see some scratches and gouges. That was all from this fight.
Oh, yeah. It's basically a brand new bot. This is all from this fight. He's a very precise striker.
Let's take a look right here. If you can pull in as close as you can, look how close that one gouge is to your belt. That could have been all she wrote.
I thought he had it. I thought he had it a few times. And we just stuck it out, man. Some great mini bot driving by my son Cam. And we're in the finals, my first finals. I'm so happy.
This is it. It's gonna another slugger. It's very similar kind of configurations. It's gonna be who like lands one of those first big blows. What are you thinking going against like Zach and Pramheda? It's not something that you can really plan for, but as Mike Tyson used to say, everyone's got a plan till they get punched in the
That's right.
So what are your thoughts?
You just got to outdrive him. He hits harder. His forks are longer. He has more experience. He's won a few dumpsters, if I'm not mistaken. I just got to outdrive him and outlast him, withstand a couple hits, and then get a few good hits of my own. Trust the mini-bot drivers to do their thing, and we should take it home.
All right, well, good luck. Get back up there. We'll see you one more time.
All right, thank you so much, Chris. Drew Davis having a wonderful run today. I certainly hope he pulls out his first dumpster. That would be super fun.
It would be nice to see.
All right, so we are going to pivot over to the 3-pound bracket. We're going to check one of our featured fights from the last round. Ooh, this is Chainsaw Kitty versus Beetlejuice, two competitors that have fought each other twice in the past. So different of a result this time.
I think we can say with some confidence, certainly today's most energetic fight.
Yeah, amazing.
Probably the most energetic fight we've had in the 3-pound class in at least a year.
Maybe since Synthesis Booty Brigade.
I could see that as a competitor. It is just so much energy in these two weapons, and it just came down to which one stopped spinning first. And in this case, it stopped spinning because there was a not so small fire in the corner of the arena in the form of Beetlejuice.
You got to give it to Ariel, though. A durable bot, well-driven. But let's check out the bracket going forward. We've got Jelly Baby taking on Eruption at the top of the bracket. Chainsaw Kitty taking on Red Panda down at the bottom. We are getting down to the wire here, ladies and gentlemen. This is your semifinal round.
Is Jelly Baby the only robot left in this tournament that is not a vertical spinner?
It may well be. That could be the case.
Take a look at this tail of the tape. Paige Clayfield from Aberdeen, Maryland is bringing Jelly Baby, the lifter, with a 13-mile-per-hour top speed. And Brian Boxell from Marlborough, Massachusetts has his beater bar, Eruption, with 27-mile-per-hour drive speed. He's going to use that to get as much bite as possible from that vertical spinning beater bar there.
Yeah, and we were talking earlier about why Eruption was winning exchanges. I think that attack speed is a big factor here.
Yeah.
If you can rush in fast enough, you get more bite on that weapon, and you can have much, much bigger hits.
Interesting fact as this fight starting, Sleepy Anime Girl Club, Keziah's team, first time making it into the semifinals and doing so with 2 robots.
Yeah.
Jelly Baby, a part of that same team, and doing exactly the same thing they've been doing all day. Beautiful pin in the corner, just a slight lift, just an inch or so into the air, just enough to lift those wheels off the floor. Ooh, nice shot.
Wow, and a follow-up.
3 in a row, 4 in a row. Brian Boxall is not letting up, and then another lift, scoop, and pin.
Yep.
Nice, good shift in momentum by Jelly Baby.
Now, Jelly Belly really needs to be able to tank hits in order to get this strategy to work.
Something just flew off.
That was the googly eye, the most important part of the robot.
Yeah, you're right. Also the most unsettling part of the robot.
Now you can see huge hit after huge hit on Jelly Baby, but no discernible damage yet.
No, in fact, it seems to be driving. Now it's just self-righted.
Both of these robots bringing it, leaving it all on the table.
Just going straight to the forks, Eruption is still able to get a solid enough bite to launch Jelly Baby upward.
Another slam against the wall, but not able to hold a pin.
No. This is really close, folks. I know Eruption has been sending Jelly Baby flying, but Jelly Baby's been able to do exactly what it wants to do almost as often.
Yeah. Nice shot from Eruption there. Eruption now on their head, able to self-right against the wall. Ooh, Jelly Baby, unfortunately, just sticking themselves against the floor and flipping backwards. They almost got a pin there. Oh, nice shot! Directly into the back plate of Jelly Baby. Brian Boxall dialing it in.
This is where you see the driving experience of Brian coming in so key. Jelly Baby needs to push a little less hard once it has the beginnings of a pin. And they aren't doing that so far. Eruption needs to do exact opposite. It needs to floor it every single time.
Yeah, and just juggle
it is doing
Jelly
so
Baby.
every single time.
Wow. You can see just how low slung the weapon is on Eruption, able to get engagement even on those forks at the front of Jelly Baby.
Still, both of these robots seem to be fully functional at this point. No clear damage winner yet. Oh, there's a little bit of a pin.
Yeah, nicely done. You got to wonder how much distortion has happened at the front of those forks on Jelly Baby, though, really preventing them to win these ground game engagements as often as they were at the beginning of the fight.
Eruption able to self-right just about as fast as Jelly Baby.
Nice backwards pin there up against the wall. Well done. We're getting down to the last 0 seconds of this matchup. This goes to the judges. Jelly Baby backing right up to the door.
That was an incredible match, incredible matchup of robots, an incredible matchup of drivers.
Let's give some mad props to Paige Clayfield. I mean, this is an amazing showing up against a veteran of the sport. And she backs right up to the door at the end of that fight like she's a veteran. You gotta love it.
Yeah, that robot needs to be built to take a hit, and it absolutely was. I don't know if it's gonna be enough for the win. We're gonna have to wait for the judge's decision, but it never failed to try to do what it was meant to do, and it succeeded in doing that many times. You can see this was a constant back and forth. However, Jelly Baby was airborne for so much of this fight.
Especially this portion, yeah.
Right. And for a control bot, being airborne is about as bad a look as you can get. Sure, they continue to bring it. They continue to demonstrate some control. But something needs to change here for that robot to stay more planted in these exchanges.
And at
don't
the
know
end of
what
the
it
fight,
is.
even though it was barely perceptible, there was damage on Jelly Baby, and really nothing was damaged on Eruption at all.
And it's something to point out too, the orange and white colors do not show damage very well to us sitting here watching through monitors.
Yeah.
I would love to see a close-up if I was a judge to get a better idea of what damage was. We're gonna go to Chris. What do you got for us, Chris?
So I'm here with both drivers from this last fight, but we'll start with you, Paige. Now, this is Jelly Baby, and you just explained to me a few moments ago that today was your first win with Jelly Baby. Is that right?
Today's my first win, period.
Your first win ever, and here you are in the tail end of the bracket with a bot that just went head-to-head with Eruption, an absolutely punishing bot, and Jelly looks pretty good.
The main thing that I focus on when designing Jelly Baby and all my bots is just making them very, very durable, and I am very glad to see that it still drove at the end.
Yeah, I mean, like Kyle said at the desk, I mean, you backed right up to the wall after the match. You were just, it seemed like you could go another 3 minutes.
Oh yeah, the one issue I have was with the weapon, but the drives seem to be golden.
Brian, how annoying is it to have a bot that can pretty much cut through anything, but you just can't break it?
Well, it doesn't matter what the bot is. She drove that thing amazing. She kept me on my toes the entire match. If I slipped up, I knew I was going to end up in a pin. So hats off to her. That was a fantastic driving match. Yeah.
Brian, good luck in the rest of the competition. Paige, I have a strong feeling that this string of wins today is not going to be your last. Are you going to be back this year?
Oh, hopefully, yeah.
Well, awesome run. Congratulations. And this thing looks like you could just go ahead and charge the batteries and throw it right back in.
Oh, yeah. Maybe need to work on the weapon a little bit, but yeah.
Well, we're waiting for the judges, so we're going to find out momentarily what happened. But again, congratulations. Great run.
Thank you, Chris.
Wow.
Man, I love to see matches go like that. Back and forth the entire time, non-stop action, and robots that just do not give up an inch.
No, and man, your first win in combat robotics ever. And you make it into the semifinals against Eruption and Brian Boxall, and you go toe-to-toe for 3 minutes?
Yeah, and speaking of that fight, we have breaking news coming in across the board. Eruption taking it home. Jelly Baby, a solid set of scores, but not enough. Eruption will be going on to the finals.
Great first run for Jelly Baby.
Yeah.
Amazing showing. Excited to see her come back with the next iteration of Jelly Baby. It sure would have been cool to have a Sleepy Anime Girl Club final. That was on the line there.
Yeah,
it
absolutely.
could have happened. But you know what? The year is young. It's March. We got a long time and a lot of chances for that to happen moving forward. We're going to go to Cage 3. Speaking of Sleepy Anime Girls, we've got Chainsaw Kitty from Kazaya Sky. I didn't realize the record was that good. Geez, 35-9 record here at NHRL. 240 miles an hour going up against Red Panda, a Massachusetts native with a 25-7 record, almost 300 miles per hour. I also didn't realize it was that close to 300 miles an hour. That is incredible stability we have seen through Red Panda throughout the day.
Absolutely.
You'll notice in that matchup, Kazaya in Chainsaw Kitty has an incredible reach advantage here. That is going to be a big factor. There are going to be some big hits, and it's going to take almost perfect driving on the part of Red Panda's driver to not get crunched by that enormous weapon on Chainsaw Kitty.
Do you think the exposed wheels on Chainsaw Kitty are going to come into play in this fight? That's a big difference between these two verts.
If and only if the driving is perfect on Red Panda.
Right.
Otherwise, those wheels are just going to be bouncing around the arena so quickly. It's going to be like trying to, catch a fly with a pea shooter in a room. And it's very difficult.
Yeah, I gotta say, KSI has been running exposed wheels, even exposed motors on this bot for the entirety of its run. That never seems to be what actually kills this thing. This is going to be a fantastic matchup.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Fight, robots,
Away we go. That was a very cautious start from Keziah.
Better of the first exchange.
Very cautious start from Chainsaw Kitty. Is the weapon stopped on Chainsaw Kitty? I believe it is.
And
it is. That is not a good place to be for Keziah at this point in the bracket.
No, but we got a fully held pin on both bots there from Red Panda. So Chainsaw Kitty trying to rack up the control points if they can. Ooh, that's not great. 2 shots right into the corner there from Red Panda.
You can really hear Red Panda revving up.
I gotta say, great control driving from Chainsaw Kitty. We don't usually need to see that because the weapon hits so hard.
All the recovering from the bounces has paid off.
Yeah, Keziah has transitioned seamlessly here to a control driver. Very impressive, but it only takes 1 hit from Red Panda for that streak to end.
Yeah. And way more than half of this fight still left to go.
Yeah, and let's not forget, with a weapon down, the control and aggression from Chainsaw Kitty needs to be impeccable for the rest of this match if they want to win.
And it's tough to be aggressive when your opponent still has a spinning weapon in the front of their robot and you do not.
Yeah, something in your brain doesn't want to hit those engagements the way you really need to.
You know, folks, Chainsaw Kitty is delivering so far. These are incredible pins. Oh, as we zoom in, I don't know what happened. The weapon belt's still there. The weapon is still there. The motor is still there.
No, it's just stuck.
It's just stuck. Or burnt out. Oh, interesting. You saw a moment ago the forks on the front of Red Panda getting stuck in the arena floor.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
And a flip from Chainsaw Kitty.
A flip and a perfectly executed pushing of the weapon into the wall.
And then into their own multi-bot configuration. Well done.
All right, it looks like Red Panda kind of turning it around here, able to flip Chainsaw Kitty upside down with a shot to the backside.
This is not where Chainsaw Kitty wants to be. They have a tough time self-righting when they don't have a weapon, but they managed to pull it off anyway.
Yeah, high centered there on the smaller bot.
Yeah, this is, I don't know if it's an intentional pin or not. We'll see if they can de-pin in a moment. But that is a great look for Red Panda.
There goes a fork.
I believe that was a fork off Kitty.
It was. That fork, however, was pretty bent up.
That looks like the thing. Are any of those wheels touching the ground?
They are not. This is going to be an unstick.
No, we're down to the last 1 second in the matchup.
Man,
saved by the bell, as it were. This will go to the judges.
Woo. That was tooth and nail for the entirety of the match.
I am stressed out, guys.
I saw Jaron fall to the floor after that match. I think he is stressed out as well.
Yeah, that was an incredible driving showing from Chainsaw Kitty and an incredible technical showing in terms of the robot from Red Panda. I think they kept it pretty even, but the end of that match, that is
not a great look.
Not a great look when it goes to the judges. We'll see. In theory, they will be looking at the entirety of the match and trying to draw a balance for what happened. But again, when you come out of the match in that state, it's not a good look.
These first engagements going all the way to Chainsaw Kitty. Look at that shot all the way up to the roof.
Was it just the one hit that she was able to pull off?
No, she had 2.
There were a few.
Yeah.
But you could see that weapon was slowing down on its own after that hit. What is
that hit was so hard, we went back 4 rounds to another fight.
Yeah, that's very impressive.
Wow.
Dr. Emmett Brown would be very proud. We are still, though, looking... Yeah, you can see that match. In that match, the weapon completely stalled at this point. I think that was self-damage on the weapon. Keep in mind that judges do not draw a distinction between damage caused by your own driving and caused by the opponent. It does not matter who causes it. It's damage to your robot. But, you know, as we look at the what went wrong kind of thought process, sometimes weapon systems just break.
and that's the way it goes.
Regardless, both of these bots having the best day of their careers here at NHRL, whichever way the judges' decision goes.
Without a doubt.
I mean, absolutely stunning performance from both of them. Jaren driving like a demon all day, that bot performing beautifully. Chainsaw Kitty finally beating that 5th place curse.
Yeah. It's a long journey, and I'm sure all the drivers in that match were thrilled with just being able to get it into the box.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, if Chainsaw Kitty is able to move on, then they do guarantee themselves a spot in the World Championships, but as of right now, not guaranteed.
No, it's likely. It is feasible. It is possible. That comes down to the overall ranking system that we have here at NHRL, and will be decided later. But yeah, it's only that spot 1 and 2 as far as, we can tell sitting here at the desk that we can say are guaranteed to make it to the championship at the end of the year.
Yeah, we really won't know until the end of the season in a lot of ways. I mean, we got to go a long ways to go. But yeah, this is an interesting matchup. Excited to see what the judges have to say. We might be a little bit off from that decision, though. They've got some deliberating to do.
Yeah, I am sure that is going to be something where they are taking every ounce of footage and going over multiple times their little rubric that they have that explains how not to attribute points in a fight, and making sure that they make the right decision.
Now, if you're Brian Boxell, you're watching this fight, who do you want the judges to pick?
That's a good question. Who do you think, Sam?
As Brian Boxell, I don't think it matters to him. I think they're both opponents that he intends to roof. I don't think it matters at all. I really don't.
I got to say, that's a very Brian Boxell response.
Yeah, that is a very Brian Boxell response. You got that guy nailed. You got to figure it out.
Yeah, bravo. I would say if I was driving Eruption, I would be less inclined to go up against Chainsaw Kitty. That reach could be a big factor. I would be a little less worried about, the competitor there, Red Panda, if it takes a little less precise driving.
Yeah.
That said, Brian's a precise driver, so maybe that's not a concern he has.
Yep.
All right, so we're going to go back to Cage 3 and check in with Chris and both competitors from that last match. So
both of you, this is your best run ever at NHRL. First of all, I just want to congratulate both of you for coming this far and doing such an incredible job. Jaren, I'll start with you. Going head-to-head with Kazaya, your last match was one of the most destructive things I've ever seen in a Beetleweight cage ever. And so that must have really kind of twisted your head a little bit coming into this match. Tell me what was going through your mind going head-to-head with Chainsaw Kitty?
Just every event I've been to with Chainsaw Kitty, especially January, they were there with 3 Chainsaw Kitties, and just fight after fight, they were out for blood, just killing every robot. And watching them today and just seeing that robot, and especially because I've looked up to Chainsaw Kitty for quite a while. We had the same first event, I'm pretty sure, March of last year. We both had really good runs at our first event, and I'm just like, I want to be that robot. And it's an honor to fight you guys, and just thinking going into that fight, like, this is a robot that goes against my driving style, it goes against everything that I know, and to have even a chance is just crazy to me.
Any thoughts on that, Kazaya?
I'm struggling right now.
Kazaya, you had your weapon go down, I think it was about after maybe 20, 30 seconds into the match. What was amazing then was watching you turn on a dime, and for some reason, Chainsaw Kitty became a control bot for like a minute and a half. How were you able to turn your drive style on a dime like that, especially when you couldn't leverage the gyroscopic force of your weapon?
Mm-hmm. It's just something I've had to practice a lot. Somewhere he got a hit on the weapon motor. It might be hard to see on the camera. There's a big dent right there, no longer spins. So that was the end of the weapon motor. And then it's really, I just have to do all I can to survive.
If you look real close, you can see that weapon belt is just holding on for dear life.
I mean, I kept ramming face first into you. I'm not surprised. I can't flip you away without the weapon.
Okay, and both of you, the judge's decision is in. We're going to see it come up here any second. Congratulations, Jaren. Red Panda, you're going on to the final match to go for the dumpster.
And I just want to say one thing. Incredible thank you to Aiden, also known as Flurb, who, incredible minibot driver, never driven for me before today. Incredible driver, and I would not be here without him.
Good luck, Keziah. I am so proud of you. You are awesome. Congratulations. I can't wait to see you again. Back to you guys.
Fantastic,
Oh, wow.
Chris.
So once again in the 3-pound division, we are going for a WPI versus WPI finals.
Tale as old as time.
Exactly right. Eruption will be taking on Red Panda. Both these bots have a little bit of work to do before we can get to that. That is going to be a very impressive matchup.
It really is. I think it's going to be energetic to the point of, well, let's just say the roof is going to get a lot of action today.
Absolutely. They definitely need to use the taller cage for that one.
I think the roof might be getting action in every single final fight.
You know, it's a good point. We have come to a point in the tournament where it's all heavy hitters.
Yeah.
We have so much energy in these weapons and so much durability in the weapons that not only is the chance for one roof shot possible, but the chance for one after another is gleefully high.
I know, so, I'm excited.
I'm excited, yeah.
Every single bot that is left in this tournament has now qualified for the World Championships. Every single bot that is left in this tournament has one chance at a golden dumpster. And all of the prize money for this event. Also, the first regular event of the year.
Yeah.
It's not new bots event. Everybody's allowed to come. So this is really the beginning of the actual tournament season in a lot of ways.
That's why we're seeing bots like Vorion and Pramheda that we haven't seen all year.
Yeah.
No, yeah, we are having robots show up, earn their spot. And again, the fact that we have robots show up, earn their spot, go home, sit on a shelf, and just plot, you know, their path to victory at the end of the year is incredible. Because that's something we never had in previous years.
Yeah.
I think this is a first
Yeah.
for 2024.
Now, while we're waiting for our bots to be all ready for the finals, we do have some fun side quests for you, some fun side adventures. This is King of the Castle. The objective of this game, at the end of 3 minutes, be the last bot that's still moving, or be the last bot on the top of the castle.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's actually, we'll take it and flip it, right? You want to be the last, or the robot on the top of the castle, but if there's no robot on the top of the castle, the robot that is still functioning the best will be taken home away.
So what do you do here? How do you destroy the castle?
You don't destroy it. You just.
Wait, what?
You
know what?
All right, so there you see our countdown to the 30-pound final. The two heaviest hitters still left in the game, Emulsifier versus Vorion. Will Brandon Bennett Young finally take down his white whale? But in the meantime, let's watch this chaos, right? Just a little bit of mini-bot craziness, or mini-game craziness.
Let's get crazy. Away we go.
I was pretty impressed that Brad could drive up that castle.
It's not easy. Wow, the purple minibot right now is,
yeah.
Everyone else has these forks that are incredibly difficult to go up a hill with.
Right, you got to go backwards in a lot of ways to get up there. That's an interesting thing. I mean, nobody's designing with this in mind.
Right.
Yeah, that little purple guy's crushing right now.
Yeah, the most humble among you shall be king, is what we're seeing right now.
I guess that's like Mount Doom, and there's Frodo, and he did it, and he's so little.
Yeah.
It's Samwise that does all the work. Let's be honest here. Oh, all right. Mr. Blue Man.
Yeah, what is that blue guy? I didn't see that earlier today.
I gotta say, this is, I know some of these robots, but I would love to have a readout.
It's like a mohawk.
No, it's a fish.
Tuscan?
It's a fish-themed robot. It's one of two from the same team, actually.
What are you doing, Blooper? It's a deep internet cut. Blooper, get out of here. I can say no one robot. Well, Purple Robot clearly has taken the most time at the top of the hill, like without a doubt.
Oh, hello,
there he
Bloopy.
is.
Oh, look at him. Look, he's like happy clapping.
Yeah, he's like, bring it. I've got this. I own the top of this hill now.
He's dancing about. Little purple robots like, oh, God, you know what? Turbo Friend, I'm being told, is the name of the blue robot.
What a delightful name for a robot.
Yeah, it really just rolls off the tongue.
He's not just a friend, he's a turbo friend.
When you say it like that, it's intimidating.
He friends so much faster than you can.
Is he friends with the purple guy, you think? Oh,
I don't think
maybe
so.
Not.
He wants that space.
Sometimes I get a little extra, Kyle, but if someone showed up at my house and you said, you know what, I'm not just a friend, I'm a turbo friend, I would lock the door.
You would not want to become fast friends?
No.
Oh, there we go. All right.
All right. Oh, looks like the cam lifter is trying to change the game.
Yeah, you said earlier the one that beats the pyramid itself is going to be the winner.
And the orange robot who was at the top of the hill, now not.
Uh-oh, Brad.
Oh, that is not a good place for our house pod.
No, no. That ramp is now pretty much useless.
Little purple guy, really great showing.
Yeah. Who knew? Oh, no. Last 7 seconds.
Come on, Turbo Friend. You can do it. Oh.
Oh.
Oh,
he pushes it off. Little purple guy, I think, was there.
I gotta say, little purple guy earned his spot at the top of that tower.
Little purple guy.
If that robot's name isn't Little Purple Guy, it should be Little Purple Guy.
All right. I think we have a unanimous decision from the crowd. Little purple guy is the king of the castle.
You can see everyone just really shouting out little purple guy. They're so excited for it.
So, a combat robotics event with terrain.
It's interesting.
I just want to point out to you guys at the desk, I'm getting word that the poll right now on the internet is who won? Was it A, Little Purple Guy?
Sure.
B, Little Purple Guy? Or was it C, Judge 3?
Oh.
I'm going to go with Little Purple Guy.
I think it was definitely Little Purple Guy.
Yeah. Sorry, Judge 3.
That must have been an open poll.
Could well be. Little Purple Guy, congratulations. I have no idea who piloted that robot. I'd love to know.
No.
In my heart, Little Purple Guy is just Little Purple Guy.
Yeah, no. Just a good little guy.
Just a little guy.
Just a little guy who won the King of the Hill.
Well, we are about
ladies
to look
and gentlemen,
at the bracket.
we are going to go into the 30-pound final. Let's look at where we went to from here. We've got Emulsifier and Vorion, both of them just going through a murderer's row of absolutely destructive bots. Both of them looking bulletproof all day. I mean, no mistakes, no malfunctions. Yeah, I think Vorion lost a fork once? That's like,
I don't even know if any of his fights have been over a minute.
No, just absolutely amazing.
Check out Vorion's semifinal fight here. So much just mastery of the craft really on display from Brandon Bennett Young. Careful engagements, and there's that fork didn't even get knocked off. That's the most damage he's seen, I think. That fork got bent up for a moment.
Yep. Then it got knocked out of the way, and he was able to pull off the win. You gotta love it. Boom. Goodbye.
Big hit. You know, we said earlier that these hits weren't that big. That is nothing to shrug off.
No. Everything inside of that robot is jostled. Everything is getting shaken out of place. Motors are unspooling as we speak.
And that was it. That's all she wrote. We are going to go to Luke, actually. He's going to tell us a little more from Brandon Bennett Young. You can see him completely emotionless, cold and machine-like as his robot creations. Luke, what can you tell us?
Now I'm standing up here with Brandon Bennett Young. In less than 20 minutes, he's going to be fighting the final 30-pound fight of the evening. And look at this. There are 2 Vorions that are sitting here on the desk, ready to go. Brandon, do you know which robot you're going to be running in this fight?
Oh, yeah. I definitely know.
Brandon, which robot are you going to be running?
Vorion.
Oh,
Oh, good. Good. Now, tell me a little bit more about these two different configurations here. Both of them are completely ready to go. You can make a decision here, I guess, on the fly to run the other one. But tell me the differences here that we're looking at.
Yeah, so you have to think about it in terms of what's the tip on the fork. The weapons are the same, the lifters are the same, but if you can see in the one my hand is near, the edges of the fork are made of TPU, they're flexible. The idea here is that if I go into the other robot, they sort of comply and allow it to sort of flex, take some energy out of the system and allow me to sort of, take some energy and take the shot a little better. Now the other one, farther from me, sort of on the pedestal over here, that one has the hard forks. So these hard forks that are, one big piece, they're better at deflecting. So if you think about a hard material like Emulsifier's blade, it'll hit it, bounce off, and that allows me to sort of keep the pressure on him. In fact, in a really good shot, it can even throw him sort of back on his hind heels and get me to sort of reset the situation.
Now, you've faced Emulsifier before. I know that you fought him in the finals. Now, you're both Golden Dumpster winners. You won your first Golden Dumpster in August of last year. He's won several Golden Dumpsters and several Golden Bretts. You're certainly the underdog going into this fight. Talk to me a little bit through your thought process as you're getting ready for this. What do you need to do to win?
So with Emulsifier, the entire day was built around it. As soon as I saw him registered in the competition, I thought, okay, he's the man. So in order to handle Emulsifier, the goal is to really get on the sides. So everybody says that, and everybody's sort of going to try that. But with Emulsifier's body, he has the very big blade, very high speed that allows it to sort of gyro a little bit. And I'm watching all sort of our old fight in the finals, and I see that that was a big case as well in our fight. Next to that, of course, is the mini-bot. In our fight, he's able to get a good side shot onto my forks, bend it, throw me, and that was sort of the end of the story there. So if I can get a good angle on Emulsifier, especially the mini-bot, sort of avoid it or direct it in some regard, that'll be the way, make it a true 1v1 gladiatorial match, and make it a true slobber knocker. If he can take the hit, and I can take the hit, and that's the story.
Now, one last question for the fans who are going to be watching this match here in 15 minutes. What are they going to be looking for to know that you're winning the match? Like, what is it that's going to turn the tide for you?
So in general, what you're going to look for me at least, is to have Emulsifier being pushed back and me at angle. So you don't want me nose to nose with Emulsifier. His blade's bigger, it can touch me first. But you want me to go around his sides to the treads, clip them, hit the back of the robot, invert if I have to, get him tumbling off balance, something like that. Because otherwise, if he gets to me and just starts wailing on it, he's got the power, he's got the reach, it's a difficult battle.
Now, I don't know which one of these two robots you're going to choose, but we're going to see it down in the box here in less than 15 minutes. Back to you on the desk.
All right, that is Brandon Bennett-Young and Vorion. His opponent, the bot to beat, reigning defending world champion Emulsifier. Let's check in on some highlights from their semifinal matchup leading into this final fight.
Here we go. You can see Emulsifier going up here, looking for this hit, huge hit, destabilize his opponent, and then a massive hit. One of the biggest hits of the day, complete to a lawn dart-like effect on its opponent, getting pinned into the arena. Forks down. Only thing hitting the arena floor is the forks in that moment. Fluffy briefly turns that robot into a hat. Actually, excuse me. Emulsifier turns it into a hat. I didn't mean to take that away from him.
Fluffy's just wearing it.
Yeah. Fluffy is rocking it, okay?
Yeah, true. There's Matt.
That is
and the Wrigleys.
I gotta say, that is focused. That wasn't the joyous result I would have expected.
Now there it is.
Here.
This is the bot to beat, as Brandon said earlier, the man, Emulsifier. Let's learn a little bit more about what makes this bot tick.
Matt, tell us, your secret weapon, what is it?
I can't tell you that. That's a top secret.
You can't tell us anything about it.
Well, I can tell you it's stronger than what everyone else is running. It's harder, and it's less brittle, but I can't tell you what it is. It came through a military contractor, but again, I can't say the name right now. We've got our titanium plow, which we normally run against horizontals, and and we've got 4 or 5 different variations of forks, depending on who we're fighting. We've got some hardened tool steel forks, we've got some softer plastic forks, we've got thicker top covers. We can run any combination of all that we want, depending on the opponent. But a lot of times you don't know who you're fighting, you don't know who you're up against. We'll keep a keen eye on our opponent. We'll see what they're intending on doing. We'll try to counter it as best we can, and we'll see what kind of design we're up against, and we'll pick our attachments accordingly.
Here we go. The first impact is going to tell a lot about this fight.
Come on, man. Come on. Come on. Hit him again. Hit him again. Hit him again. Come on.
Front. The bottom of him, man.
Can't turn.
Around him. He's stuck.
Send it.
Stuck.
Send it. Send it again. Send it
Nice.
Send it again. Keep sending it. Keep sending it. He's tapping. He's tapping. Awesome. Let's go.
Emulsifier, your winner, their first fight of the day.
We're stuck. Good job, Corey. It was better than last time. I mean, you almost had me there in the.
Ready? Let's get unloaded.
There's a lot of good robots here. Every year they get better and better. There's not going to be an easy match, in my opinion. So, you know, all of them. We'll just take one match at a time.
Right, real quick before you go. What was that secret weapon again?
This interview's over.
I love that. And at the same time, I'm terrified. The technological developments that we are seeing in these robots are really starting to stack up. New materials, new electronics, new manufacturing methods. We have 3D printed metal turbojets coming through. It's bonkers, the things that people are bringing to the table, and it's just the beginning.
Yeah.
I cannot imagine where we were going to be in just another few months at the end of the year when these robots make it to championships.
And we have Luke up in the pits with the Emulsifier team. Luke, how you doing?
I'm doing great, and Matt is also doing great. Matt, you were telling me that you sustained some pretty big damage in your most recent fight. I'd love to check out the robot, and maybe you can talk us through it.
Yeah, sure. Well, one weird thing that happened in the last fight, it's never happened before, our weapon shaft that runs through the center of the weapon actually was bent at the end of the fight. It's a pretty stout shaft, and it's that way for a reason, because we don't ever want to deal with that issue, but somehow, in some way, the weapon shaft was bent because the disc was binding in part of the rotation, so we had to swap that out. We're good to go on it now. Everything else on the robot is actually in pretty good shape. We didn't really sustain much damage the whole time, so we're pretty fortunate to be going into the finals in pretty good shape.
Now I can like stick my finger here through this weapon shaft hole. Like that is a very thick weapon shaft. Like you must have sustained a huge hit to bend it.
Yeah, I think what happened was when Ares was upside down and my weapon, my disc hit their beater bar going opposite directions and it roofed them. That's my hunch, but you know, you'll never know. But yeah, it's a pretty beefy shaft. It's hardened steel, so I'm kind of shocked, to be honest.
Now I'm checking my watch. You're going to be going down in like 5 minutes from now. Are you prepared for Vorion? You know, this is going to be a rematch for you. What's your strategy going into this final fight of the night for you?
Vorion's not going to be an easy match. It's probably going to be the toughest match of the night. We're very similar in terms of design. I'm sure he's going to be running forks too. It could be a ground game deal, or it could come down to who, you know, does the better driving. I mean, if someone gets around the other person and is able to take advantage of that, then they're probably going to take the match. So you just got to try not to make any mistakes, keep a cool head about it, and see what happens.
Best of luck. 7 minutes to that match. Back to you on the desk.
Thank you, Luke. Wow. That is, I am on the edge of my seat. I really am.
Absolutely. I cannot believe they bent a weapon shaft. But also, if it happened that early in the fight, the weapon was still spinning for the rest of that matchup.
So much power behind that weapon, and it's a big part of the reason it has so much success. And yeah, being able to just power through that kind of bend, it puts so much load on your motor. and to be able to still deal out hits while you're overcoming that load is incredible.
He turned him into a hat after that.
Yeah.
With the bench shaft. All right, so in 6 minutes, we will be seeing that fight. But right now, in Cage 4, we got something a little fun for you going on. Looks like we've got a bunch of 3-pound robots. Mr. Roper, a cone, and I know for a fact that Booster, the pneumatic flipper robot, is going to be joining this fray as well.
This is chaotic.
And so Booster is on loan to NHRL from our good friend Chad New over in Colorado, and he built this beautifully machined CO2-powered flipper that can just launch 3-pounders to the ceiling, no problem. He's come close to flipping the big house bots with it, and he tore it up at All-Stars in December against some of YouTube's most ridiculous hot dog themed robots.
It's kind of stunning what that robot has been able to do so far against very large opponents. I have a feeling it's going to be incredibly comedic what it can do against a lot of very small opponents.
And one angry toolbox.
Of course. There are so many sentences where you can fill in the blank to say, it wouldn't be NHRL without blank.
Yeah.
And the fact that we've added angry toolbox as one of the Mad Libs answers is just wonderful to me.
Yeah, the game, things you could say at NHRL and like in your living room or at dinner, there are none. The things you could say at NHRL can only be said at NHRL.
I think two truths and a lie would be really hard for us here because everything could just so easily be a lie.
Well, and if you make up the lie, it's gonna be true next event.
Right. There is an expiration date on that lie because someone's gonna make an honest man out of you is what they're gonna do.
But there you see Booster. This is the pneumatic flipper bot.
Henchman Rob is going to be operating it today.
You know, he's already lost a bot today, right at the beginning of the day.
Henchman Rob?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Brett got away.
He let it get chased all over the freaking building.
Yeah.
Like, come
Maybe
on.
Rob isn't the right choice. No, in all seriousness, we put some time into making sure that the loose house bot was done in a reasonable and safe way. And there is a reason that Rob is the one operating this robot, despite what apparently a little trouble right now. This is a robot that requires extra care. We have processes in place here at NHRL to make sure that robots like Booster are taken with a extra serious level of safety protocol. And so Rob is by far the best person in the house, barring perhaps myself, to be operating this cage.
Right, yeah.
I concur.
Fun fact, I mean, this bot is just being brought out for this exhibition fight, but it still had to pass through the same safety procedures as everything else that's been put into the arena.
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
Rob put himself through safety with this robot. No one forced him to safety this robot.
No, and I'll say he put himself through safety, but he was scrutinized by other third-party objective folks. That is...
pneumatic robots are no joke.
They really are not.
It's a lot of force, and it's a lot of pressure, and it's going in the arena to fight, so it's taking damage, and when stuff is under pressure, it needs to be held strong.
Yeah, and thankfully that is a very well-designed robot, not just in terms of its abilities and its strength, but in terms of the safety systems that it has on board. So we're thankful for it being here. We're thankful for it being on loan. And I'm thankful for seeing a lot of robots fly in just a few minutes, if I could be so bold.
I hope. Okay, I see a lot of forks in the mix here. I just want one to get stuck in the ceiling. That's all. I'm a simple man.
By the way, is this what we charge for storage of robots? Because I know Chad just left this here, so we're like,
loan is a very kind to us term.
You can leave it here. We'll store this for you. Just keep in mind, we're going to use it whenever we want.
He sent it out, and I think he got distracted with some other robots and probably forgot all about it. And we just keep on using it. Thank you so much, Chad.
And away we go. Robots are moving.
The chaos is happening, and Mr. Roper does not like it. Get off of my lawn vibes coming from Mr. Roper.
Whoop. Booster boosting itself into the air. Oh, the bouncy balls have bounced.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, and you can notice Booster is not
It's high-centered on another robot or maybe a bouncy ball.
I think a bouncy ball.
Yeah.
No, it's another robot. You're right.
I bet Booster could get off of that, though.
I bet they could.
Don't worry, Mr. Roper is here to help.
Yeah, I bet Mr. Roper could get Booster off with enough time. And kapow! Oh,
There
that
we
is
go.
a good bounce.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
Oh, I see some dangly bits.
Yep, I know exactly what that piece is. That is the bungee that causes the single-acting pneumatic cylinder to retract.
So no more retracting?
Well, it did retract, but it kind of does it when it feels like it.
Yeah, it's a little bit gravity-based, a little bit whim-based.
Oh, the crowd is cheering for what they want. They know they want to see a flying old man toolbox creation. There it goes!
Hey, Mr. Roper landing on his wheels. Nice job, buddy.
Took it out a light from the ceiling with that hit. That's a lot of force in the arena when Booster kicks off a flip like that.
And you can see Booster trying to pick his next shot. He doesn't want to pick on Mr. Roper again.
Oh, my goodness. The bouncy balls continue to go everywhere.
I think he got that bouncy ball container and a robot with that one.
Yeah, I don't know where the robot went after that, though.
No, I did not see it come down. It might still be in the ceiling.
We got 1 minute left in this chaotic rumble. Booster still boosting. Roper's still roping.
Mini Booster over there in the corner also boosted. There we go. Trying to get itself back up.
Mini bots are still going nuts as well. Fantastic.
Part of me always wants the house bot to destroy everyone at the end of a rumble.
That was the roof shot you wanted, I think.
Yeah,
there.
Mako getting sent upward, lost their saw on that one.
Is that Turbo Friend over there in the corner flailing around?
Sure looks like it.
Oh, they're stuck.
A little gentle push of some trash by
It looks like their
Fluffy.
forks are stabbed into the arena there.
On Booster.
Yeah.
Is this our second lawn darting?
I believe it is.
Oh, man.
Lawn darts were made illegal in the United States back in the 70s.
Luckily, we have this bulletproof cage in which we could run them safely.
Reminder, it is bulletproof. It's not necessarily lawn dart proof.
Fair. There's a reason we banned those and not semi-automatic weapons.
Oh, that's sad.
Oh, boy.
So much joy on the faces of everyone that participated in that chaos. Thank you so much for devoting your time, your effort, and your robots.
And thank you all for volunteering to clean up after this fight as well.
Absolutely. We've got brooms for every one of you.
Mouse was in there. I didn't see
I didn't
Mouse.
even know. Yeah, hey, Mouse. What's
Have
up,
a
buddy?
hole in the wall?
Yeah, I like to think that there's a little dormouse door in the corner of the kick plate, which, you know, Mouse just kind of comes out when it wants.
It's actually the only egress from the box when it's locked is Mouse's little door.
Right. Oh, all right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting down to that time. Let's get serious. It is finals time. We are going to go into a cage for the biggest, one of the three biggest fights of the night. Kyle, what do we have?
We have reigning, defending, two-time world champion Emulsifier taking on Brandon Bennett Young and Vorion. This is going to be all destruction, beautiful driving, and strategies that we're not quite fully aware of. They're both being a little opaque about what they're doing.
They are keeping this tight to the vest, which is incredibly Brandon Bennett Young.
And we've got Matt Borez and Emulsifier from Columbus, Ohio. An amazing 26-5 record with 23 KOs. He's been the world champ twice. And Brandon Bennett Young from Bowie, Maryland with an 11-3 record and 7 KOs. He is the reigning All-Stars champion.
That is a matchup of absolutely epic proportions here. Both consummate competitors and champions in their own right. There are no losers here. It's just a question of who takes home the ultimate gold today.
You know, I often forget that Emulsifier is technically a part of the Ohio contingent here.
Robots fight.
Technically correct. Oh, that was a great start by Vorion and a little bit of a flub by Emulsifier.
Yeah. Trying to get around to the side of Vorion and get a hit on that juicy side panel.
These angles are
very careful driving. Oh, and that both mini bots coming into play here.
Now, Emulsifier has 2 partner robots, so one of those could help free it, while the other one is high centering Vorion.
I don't know if he's able to get out from underneath. Yeah, look at that.
Oh, interesting. Emulsifier is actually hung up on something else in this arena. I can't tell what.
No.
And now Vorion's partner is trying to get the mini bot from Emulsifier out from underneath Vorion.
The dynamics here are nuts. Yeah, there should be an unstick for both of these robots because apparently, yeah, the time period has passed by.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, so now they're both fully mobile. Vorion taking full advantage, getting in on the side plate. And this is the dance. They're coming in the angle. This is exactly where Brendan Bennett Young wanted to be at this point in the matchup.
He's getting closer and closer to that drive belt.
Yeah, this is so sketchy. This could have gone the opposite way. Look at both of these with short bots coming in. This is really where Brandon's going to struggle, is when they get in and get underneath. And high center of giving Emulsifier the shot.
Oh, this is right on the edge, folks. Oh my goodness, look at that. The fork is, yes,
Vorion
this is
hard. He's got that self-rider.
He's got the self-rider.
Did the self-rider just come off, though?
No, it's still there, but that robot is not. Oh, what a huge hit!
No.
Smoke coming from the robot, folks. This could be the end for Vorion. And
yeah,
Brandon
that self-rider is trying. It's working, but it's going up against the wall. It doesn't look like it's able to get the full range of motion.
We are going for a count out, but if that robot, yeah, oh, there it is. It's so painful. This fight is so tense. The house robot is trying to free Vorion despite the efforts of Emulsifier. There it goes!
Oh, nasty.
But it's free.
Now you can see that one fork is bent down.
That's going to be a lot of problem for Vorion.
Yeah, and I believe we are counting that unstink as having completed previously, which means that Vorion stays where Vorion lays. And this will be going to a knockout for Emulsifier. Your winner of the March 30-pound bracket is Emulsifier. They will be moving on with a top seed to the finals and the championship at the end of this year. Brandon Bennett Young taking home a well-earned but undoubtedly disappointing second place in the March 30-pound category.
Already qualified for the finals this year, though. He's got another chance built in to go up against Emulsifier.
Now, this fight was so strategic at the beginning. It was all about positioning. Just trying to get the angle that works best for your robot's reach with your forks. And both robots, supplementary partner robots, came into play big time. Getting high centers, defending. It was definitely a strategic match.
Yeah, I am impressed. For heavy hitters like this, you don't see the mini bots come in as this big of a difference that often.
No, it was a total game changer, though.
With both robots being so tactical, so careful, and so precise in their driving, the only differentiating factor left was the mini bots. I shouldn't say the only one, but it was a huge factor when usually it is at best a minor factor.
Absolutely, yeah. This would have been much more of a slugfest without the intervention of those bots.
Man, you can see the crowd loves it.
Let's go Emulsifier.
All right, we're gonna head cage side with Chris and the winners.
Matt Borez, Emulsifier, 2023 world champion, laying the groundwork to go for 2024. Tell us about the day.
It's been a phenomenal day, and all the matches have been intense like that. And yeah, I think we made a statement that we're coming back in 2024 and going for a three-peat, so.
That was, look, just get the camera into this box. It looks like a scrapyard. Matt.
Mini-bot ripped in half. Still spins though.
Matt, what did you do?
This is a typical Emulsifier. I mean,
it's really impressive. You know, give us a little bit of an intro to the team, Bots FC. What's going on here?
Yeah.
Go ahead and take the mic.
Yeah, I couldn't do it without anyone here, and there's even people behind the scenes to help. But Ben, Eric, and Adam are all a huge part of this team. The mini-bots played a huge role in this tournament, like they always do. And you know, without these guys, there's no way I'd get the robot in as good a shape as I have been coming into all these fights.
That was tactical. It was a tactical mini-bot destruction there. We did that on purpose. That was a pre-arranged strategy. So that was definitely purposeful destruction.
Yeah.
One last question, Matt. What's the secret to the weapon again?
Can't tell you.
All right, well, hang around here for a second. We got something to give you, but back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Chris. What a fight. There are pieces of both robots strewn around that arena. I shouldn't say both robots, all the robots.
All of the robots, yes.
That was punishing.
That is quite a statement to make. You heard him, Matt Borez and Emulsifier going to the World Championships, and they are going with a purpose. And I dare say that weapon, whatever it's made of, is coming with them.
Yeah. Bravo. I'm sitting here, I am excited and kind of vibrating a little. Of course, it could be the fact that we were all vibrating for a few minutes with those weapons spinning the way they were. The whole house shakes a little bit.
Yeah, there's very few things that can take that bot out. I mean, their total strategy's amazing. In the meantime, though, let's go check in with Chris.
Matt, Bots FC, there's really only one more thing for me to do here, and that is to present you with your Golden Dumpster. Congratulations!
The smiles on the faces. You have veteran Adam Wrigley there. Of course, Matt looking pleased as well. I gotta say, this is the first time I've really seen that level of pleased and relief on his face. This was not an event that was over until he took home the dumpster. This was not an event that was a success until he walked out with a first place victory. And that kind of high expectation and the delivery thereof just really shows what a competitor he and the rest of his team is.
So that means Emulsifier and Vorion qualified for the World Championships. We're not likely to see these bots again for the rest of the year until we get to that event. No. I'm very impressed. I mean, this is what he does. He shows up, wins a dumpster, goes home and takes a nap.
We're going to go ahead and check in with Lindsay right now. I'm eager to build on that point in a second, Kyle. Lindsay, what can you tell us? What's the internet like right now?
I mean, okay, so I ran a poll before this match. Over 70% of people predicted that Emulsifier was going to win this. They were correct. Man, what a dominant showing there. It was really... really graphic at the end. And I know that with the 12-pound finals coming up with Blackjack and Pramheda, I'm going to throw another poll in the chat now. So if you feel passionate about who you think is going to win, we'd love to hear what you have to say. But this one, I feel like the 30-pound fight, there was a big consensus. The 12-pound fight, I don't know. It almost could be anyone's game.
One thing that I will say about that last matchup, we really did see Brandon Bennett-Young solve just 2 or 3 more pieces of that puzzle.
Yes.
You know, he had a couple of shots there where he could have won that entire thing.
Yeah.
And you saw where the strategies of Emulsifier really came into play and took those victories away from him. But just a few more pieces of that puzzle, just a few more cylinders on that lock were picked this time. I think it's a matter of time until we see Brandon Bennett Young get a victory over Emulsifier. Do you think it could be this year at the World Championships?
It very well could be, but let's take a second and realize some of the value in them not coming back. We talk about how bold of a move that is for them to just put it on the shelf and wait. But at the same time, that means Brandon can't come back and practice against Emulsifier for the rest of the year.
Yep.
You know, that robot is off limits now. It had its shot to practice, and the only shot it's going to get is, you know, universe willing, at the finals if they meet again.
You're also limiting the footage you have to review about Emulsifier by the end of the year. You have less data to pull on them to see how to beat them by the end of the year.
Absolutely, and Brandon's one of those competitors who's going to sit there and review the footage over and over again
endlessly.
And figure out, yeah. Almost too much, Brandon. Make sure you get some sleep.
From Phenomenon to Vorion was pretty large. Phenomenon was getting good, and Vorion kind of put it over the edge. And I think maybe with the learnings from this match, maybe it's not Vorion necessarily. Maybe there is something else on the horizon.
Brandon has a lot in the works. Yeah, he's got a lot in the works. He's got a lot of great ideas in the works. Very interested to see what he does. Now, Matt is legit hanging it up for the rest of the season. He's not bringing anything else, most likely. He usually doesn't.
Yeah.
But Brandon, he's going to be here with different robots, different designs, and in different weight classes. We're definitely going to see something from him in the 12s. We're definitely going to see something from him in the 30s again. I'm very excited to see it.
Let's be reasonable, though. They have earned the rest if they want it.
Amen. Amen.
Anyhow, we are moving on. We are going to the 12-pound bracket. We have come on a long journey here. Pramheda has worked its way through Grim Ripper and Steggy to make it to the finals. Meanwhile, Blackjack had to take out Caldera, 12-pound, and BumbleBlitz, who were both real terrors today.
Now check out this semifinal matchup where Blackjack was able to defeat BumbleBlitz. BumbleBlitz just absolutely destructive and dominant all day. But the experience really came to play here, and the driving aptitude of the entirety of the Davis family.
And we've got Luke in the pits with a Blackjack report. Luke.
Hey everybody, I had a chance to talk to Drew Davis, the builder of Blackjack, here for about 10 minutes as he's getting ready for this fight. Drew and Blackjack are absolutely the underdogs going in. Now, he's a veteran builder. He's been building for many, many years, but facing off against Pramheda, which is a scary, scary vert. He told me that in their last match, Pramheda split his chassis in two, and he made the thumbnail for Pramheda's 10 biggest hits of all time. We're going to have to see if he can turn around his luck for this and the underdog coming out on top in this very next match. Back to you on the desk.
Now let's talk briefly about Pramheda. This is their semifinal matchup up against a very dominant John Flack coming in for his first NHRL event. Something I will say about Zach Knight, he has not won a Golden Dumpster in almost 2 years to the day of this event. He has been making a statement all day. He has been a man on a mission.
Truly.
And this is going to be his opportunity to win that Golden Dumpster, show everybody that Pramheda is not a former champion. It is something to be feared going into the World Championships.
Does it make you hungrier to have that championship and then not for a while? Or like in Drew Davis's case, to still have that championship looming and not ever in your possession?
It's a tough one to say.
Yeah, it really depends on the competitor. Everyone, as we say, is here for different reasons. If it was me, I think I'd feel the glory. I'd feel a little pressure off, and then over time, that hunger would kind of build itself again, and I'd want to be back on top. Other competitors, it's one and done. Some are never going to stop. We looked at Emulsifier earlier. I'm pretty sure they're never going to show up here and say that anything short of the Golden Dumpster and eventually the Golden Brett is enough.
Yeah.
It's just really comes down to the person. And I love that there is a place for all of those mindsets here at NHRL.
Yeah. Absolutely. Every motivation is valid. Come on in, play with your friends, hang out, do something cool, do something creative, or just be a world beater. I mean, this is the place to do it. This competition is absolutely amazing. I cannot wait to see how this 12-pound matchup goes. This bracket has been just crazy all day.
Yeah, it is packed with heavy hitters. It's packed with experienced and new competitors, but people with incredible technical, incredible driving, and incredible, we'll just say, team dynamic skill.
Yeah, amen to that. Amen to that.
Bravo.
All right, so we are going to be getting ready for that matchup. Looks like we are not too terribly far from that one loading in.
No, we are getting closer and closer. Cage 1, it sounds like, has a fight ready to go. That's, oh, I see. They're loading. They are not quite ready. Yeah, this is a quite a matchup.
Both bots are in the ring. You can see the red band of Blackjack on the right there. Pramheda featuring what looks like some sort of clear top.
Now, I don't see... Oh, there they are, right in the lower right-hand corner. All right, well, let's check in right now with Lindsay as these bots get ready.
All right, so remember that poll I was talking about before? We have the results, and it is almost evenly split with 55% in favor of Pramheda. So a lot closer than the predictions going into Emulsifier and Vorion. We're going to have to see what happens.
And you can see this is a family affair for the Davis family. They've got the boys driving both of these multi-bots coming in. That is going to be a huge part of their strategy. To get Pramheda hung up on those wedges, hung up on those forks, to give Drew the opportunity to come in and get those massive hits with Blackjack. Look at the look on Zach's face.
He's not running any additional robots. It's solely the main Pramheda in this round.
No, that's how he rolls.
Yeah.
That's what he does.
I mean, you got to remember, the rules have been updated in the last few months. It is now a sizable risk to bring a smaller part of a multi-bot into the arena. If you aren't pretty confident that you can make a positive difference by bringing a second, smaller, or equally sized robot, for that matter, into the arena, you probably shouldn't do it. It's an easy way to lose, especially on damage.
Now, to their credit, the Davis boys have been a huge boon to this team's success all day long, gathering massive pins, really securing a lot of their victories throughout this tournament.
All right, let's check out the tail of the tape for this 12-pound final. Pramheda from Zach Knight out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, has a 30-19 record with 24 amazing KOs, a 1.5-inch weapon reach compared to Blackjack. From Drew Davis of Schenectady, New York, with a 13-9 record, 8 KOs there, and slightly shorter weapon reach at 1.25 inches.
Yeah, that is a close enough weapon diameter that while it could make a difference in the most precise of situations, generally we're going to look at them as relatively equal in terms of reach.
I'd say.
All right, well, we already know that both of these bots have qualified for the World Championships at the end of this year. But right now, it is all on the line for the Golden Dumpster and all of the prize money. This is your 12-pound final. Drew Davis and Blackjack versus Zach Knight and Pramheda.
All right, Pramheda is readied up. Blackjack's readied up.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Fight.
Away we go in your finals match. So far, Blackjack not able to get under Pramheda.
No.
Beautifully executed. You can see bits of Blackjack strewn across the arena. That was a big, damaging hit right out of the box.
Yeah, Pramheda is really taking advantage of some of the war damage that Blackjack has accumulated throughout the day.
Oh, and that is a stick. I think we are going to see a house bot unstick on Blackjack, assuming that Pramheda doesn't free it itself.
Wow, getting calling for an unstick in the first 40 seconds of the matchup. That is not a great sign.
No, not at all. I am certain that the house bot is going to be able to free Blackjack, but you only get one.
Now there's some pretty significant damage going on the right side of Blackjack, maybe the left side since they were inverted when I saw it.
Yeah,
Friends,
no,
I
you're
don't
right.
think it's going to matter that unstick.
No,
Blackjack is
no
not
movement.
moving.
Maybe
wheels
one
are
more.
They're high centered.
On
I
something.
think this probably can. If they're not high centered on their self, I would consider this an incomplete unstick.
I agree.
I want Zach to help.
I also want Zach to help. I'm with you there, Sam.
That's that.
That's it. That's the
Your
end.
winner by knockout in the 12-pound class for March NHRL is Pramheda.
Almost 2 years to the date from his last Golden Dumpster, qualifying for the World Championship. Well worth the celebration for Zach Knight. Just beautiful strategic driving all day, and the bot has worked perfectly.
He did well this tournament. He really did. He was focused. Kyle, you were telling me he was angry? What was that all about?
Oh, this morning, yeah, he was like, I gotta win this thing. I gotta take the whole thing. He wanted it. I mean, there was definitely some fire behind that guy's eyes when I was talking to him.
That hunger, it comes through.
It really does, and even from a very relatively calm guy,
you can see it there.
You can still see it.
Oh, absolutely, and he's one of the biggest helpers in the pits. If you need anything, Zach is there to help you out. But you could see it in his eyes this morning. There was something that he needed to do, and he has brought it home. He has no regrets with this performance today. Absolutely phenomenal.
None whatsoever, and what regrets could you have at this point? You bring home the win, like a win after win after win, you make it to the finals, bravo.
Yeah.
All right now let's go to Chris with the winner.
Zach Knight, Pramheda, you got a dumpster. You're going to the World Championships. What's going through your mind right now?
A lot of things. So it's been about 2 years since the last time I got a dumpster. So there was a point where I was like, am I falling off? And it was like, everybody gets that doubt. So for me, it's like, hey, I'm still just as good as I was in 2022, and I'm ready to keep coming back.
Did this play out the way that you thought? Did you think it was going to be a longer match? You both came out swinging for the fence.
Oh, Drew's a talented builder. Like, last time we went at it, it was almost a full 3-minute match. It ended up with a KO in last year in March. And I expected this thing to go full 3 minutes of just beating banging.
Any other thoughts about the day and what it took to get here?
A lot of thoughts. Like, there's a group of people in this room that have kept me going to keep my head on straight, and I cannot thank any of them enough for being behind me, because I found that if I find a calmer demeanor in the pits, I have a better success down in the cage, and it's thanks to every one of them.
Zach, how does it feel to be back on top of the mountain?
I'm super happy. I'm like shaking and like, yeah.
You earned it. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks so much, Chris. This is another one of those things, just the energy permeates, not just the room, but the building.
That anxiety he expressed, the fear of falling off.
Yeah.
You know, like that was powerful to me. And yeah, you know what, Zach? You didn't fall off anything, buddy.
No.
You're doing just fine.
It's amazing that you can get back on the bike and keep going when you never really left.
Yeah, no, that was just so impressive. I mean, he's always been a solid competitor, but there was just something going on in that guy's head today. He had something that he needed to prove to himself, and that was absolutely phenomenal. What a great showing. I can't wait to see what he does in the World Championships. I mean, so proud of him.
So, Emulsifier is going on the shelf till the championships. What's Zach and Pramheda going to do?
Zach's always here.
Yeah.
I mean, he's always here. I don't think that this goes on the shelf. I think we see them again.
Yeah, now it's a question of, is it going to become experimental? I kind of doubt it. I think it's going to be driving practice. I think it's going to be small tweaks. That's a little bit different, but yeah, there's no chance that Zach is staying home for this.
All right, well, let's go to Chris and Zach and a trophy.
Zach, there's only one thing left for me to do here, and that's to give you your 12-pound dumpster. Congratulations!
Years. This is the first time in 2 years he's foisting that dumpster almost to the day, winning the March competition back in 2022.
What an incredible way to start a season with a victory. And again, he's only got up to go from here.
And much love to his team. He knows that they keep him sane and help keep his head straight, and he acknowledges that. And it's just awesome.
It's a lot of awareness, a lot of thankfulness, and so often we just see people mature so much as they get involved here and become experienced competitors. And we'd love to see that for Zach as well.
Absolutely.
So.
All right, guys. Meanwhile, let's head back on over to the 3-pound bracket. There's one dance left tonight, and that is the 3-pound championship of the evening for our March event. This is going to be Eruption. This is going to be Red Panda. 2 WPI-trained engineers going head-to-head. This is the Red Panda semifinal. This was a knockdown, drag-out match with the best showing of a Chainsaw Kitty we have ever seen at this tournament. And because of a very well-placed hit on Chainsaw Kitty's weapon motor, Red Panda was able to pull out the win.
Now, we can go ahead up and check with Luke and his thoughts about Red Panda for this upcoming fight.
Now, I had a chance to talk to Jaron Leapson, the builder of Red Panda here, as he was getting ready for this fight. This is really a fight between friends. Now, Jaron made his NHRL debut here 1 year ago as part of Team WPI, and Brian Boxall was the president-elect, kind of like stand-in for Team WPI, and really mentored Jaron and the rest of the team. So Jaron is going into this fight really eager to test himself against someone who he really looks up to in the sport and a fellow team member. But he admits he is absolutely the underdog going into this matchup. Back to you on the desk.
Wow. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about Eruption semifinal fight going up against Jelly Baby, a design type they really should struggle with, but because of the experience of Brian Boxall, his phenomenal driving skills, and the really low profile of that weapon, he was able to really win so many of these engagements and keep that control bot in the air for so much of this fight.
Yeah, and we've seen all day, his robots have always been designed well, but what he's really accomplished here is redesigning his robot for him. This is a robot that works to do what he wants to do in a box, and it's gone from a robot that's just generally good to the robot that, dare I say, he was destined to drive in the cage.
And here we are. This is the most optimized version of Eruption we have ever seen.
All right, Eruption from Brian Boxall out of Marlborough, Massachusetts. He's got a drive speed of 27 miles per hour. Multiply that times 10 and you've got his weapon speed. He's sporting a 51 and 26 record. That's an incredible number of fights. And then from the Red Panda squad, we've got Jaron Leapson from Worcester, Massachusetts. A drive speed of 9 miles per hour, but an impressive 293 miles per hour on that weapon. 16 and 5, Jaron is.
Man, that is a matchup. Now, one thing I will say, in that tail of the tape, you can see Eruption was sporting a front wedge. They are not coming into this fight with a front wedge equipped. They are coming in with forks. That is honestly, it is the right decision. However, the fork matchup between the two of them, we don't know how that's going to go yet. It is anybody's guess as to whether the forks on Red Panda or on Eruption is going to be more effective, and that is going to be a big part of this match.
Let's find out. We are underway. Head-on collision, exactly what you would expect from Brian Boxall and Eruption. He wants to see how these weapons are going to match up, and so far, he's taken each one of these engagements.
Yeah, he is winning these exchanges one after another. Wow, there's oh, that robot is stuck in the ground. It is boring its way to China.
And Eruption almost burying themselves into the side rail to unstick them, launching them on top of the house spot. Launching them again, toastering them behind the house spot.
These hits are insane. So much speed from Eruption, delivering so much energy with every bit of contact.
Now, Brian Boxall has foisted dumpster gold in the past, but not since July 2022 has he won a golden dumpster at this tournament. It's looking pretty good for him so far, 1 minute into this fight.
Yeah, pieces are going flying. The forks on the front of Red Panda are sticking it up in the air and mobilizing it. They may well get an unstick, but friends, this is a situation where an unstick is just going to put them right back in the sights of Eruption. They took the end of the match. That is a knockout.
Brian Boxall celebrating, rightly so. Phenomenal driving match. His bot performed beautifully. First dumpster since July 2022. Well deserved by Brian Boxall.
And a great run by Jaren and Red Panda.
Oh yeah, best run they've ever had at this tournament.
And still nothing but smiles. That was a great fight. This was a great tournament.
It really was. There was so much action and energy, especially as we move through the bracket.
Yeah.
So often in robot tournaments, you see robots that aren't, bringing it all because they've taken so much damage. These competitors, you can see both of these robots are hitting like they are fresh out of the box.
Yeah.
These are big hits after big hits. Very little slowdown. Eruption, honestly, this could have been their first fight of the day.
No, absolutely.
And there's no way to know.
Just as fresh.
Yeah, and that shows such a level of competitiveness, preparation, and talent.
Now, Jaren, first time to the quarterfinals, first time to the semifinals, first time to the finals, qualifying for the World Championships at the end of the year.
Yeah,
just an amazing run for him.
So many people have tested and proved their mettle today.
Yeah.
Against some of our best competitors, and I'm so excited because it is a new crop of contenders here at NHRL.
Absolutely.
And I think that's really part of the excitement, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we've also seen two massive comebacks today.
Yes, at the same time.
Well, Chris is cage side with the winner.
I'm here with Brian Boxall and the reimagined Eruption. Tell me, how'd it work out for you?
I think it worked out pretty well, actually. I'm so happy with it. Oh my God.
What's it like going head to head with, a former teammate and someone that you've worked with for his entire career in combat robotics?
Well, it's not a former teammate. He is still a teammate. We collaborate on robots all the time. He's on Waddles, which, I used to be the captain of, but now I've passed it on to them. I can't wait to see what Jaren does in the future of combat robotics, because he's only been in it for a year and a half? You've got a lot to go, and I am really excited to see what you can do.
Any other thank you, shout outs, the people that gave you the push to get Eruption to where it is right now?
Thank you to my dad, first and foremost. I love doing combat with you. It's extremely special that we get to share experiences like this, like we do. Thank you to my girlfriend, Victoria, for showing up and supporting me today. Thank you to James for every single all-nighter that we've done in the last, 2 weeks, because without that, this robot would not even be close to existing.
Now the thing that you have to think about moving ahead in the year, Eruption, World Championships, anything that you're going to do in the interim?
I wouldn't settle for anything less than World Championships. That is what I have my eyes set on. I want the Golden Brett. Eruption is intended to have a flywheel. I signed up for this event late, and I didn't have time to put the flywheel on it, but it's supposed to have an anti-gyro flywheel. It's going to be crazy maneuverable, and I am really, really excited to see where the robot goes from here.
Brian, great night. Congratulations. Well, back to you at the desk.
Brian Boxall calling his shot. He does not want to settle for anything less than a Golden Brett this year.
Would you expect anything less from Brian?
Absolutely, and I love that little tag at the end. Oh no, it's not even done yet.
Yeah.
He's got to put a counter gyro flywheel on this robot.
But why?
I mean,
why not?
Why not? Make it that much better.
Yeah. You got to win. You can't just get to the championship. You got to win the championship.
That's fair.
That said, I think that there's a little bit of ceremony, a little hardware to dole out. Let's take a look.
All right. This is it. One last thing for me to do. Brian, hold it high. Congratulations, your dumpster.
Amazing run for Brian. It's gotta feel so good to just hold up a little baby dumpster full of cash.
Absolutely. First one in 2 years. Congratulations to Brian Boxall. Slogging his way through amazing competitors in the 3-pound bracket.
An amazing bit of pomp and circumstance. That said, that is our March event. Thank you all for joining us. It is so meaningful that you share this with us, that you tune in. I'm Ricky Willems, Sam Hansen, Kyle Crows, and so many others. Luke, Chris, all of the crew that makes this possible. Thank you. Join us next time. We will see you live in April, and we may see you in March at RIT. If you want to join, thank you again, and we will see you next time. This is NHRL. Yeah!